From the best places on the internet, we have Gnome Pickles, who is going to be playing a visual novel today because it's Visual Novel Friday. And on Visual Novel Friday, we play romantic visual novels, even though we are your favorite ace on the internet. Today, we're going to play Highway Blossoms, a game about finding love out there on the highway. Out there, looking for gold. All the gold shall be mine. It shall be mine, money belongs to my pockets. For I am a beautiful young girl. In my inherited motorhome. Yes. Second project. We like them. They're fun. Scion Santera appears quite often here. I wonder if this was potentially their vanity project. Arc Orange. I don't think that's a name. Mondonator. Seems like a neat name. We are this dead-eyed girl. Yes. The music ends. The cassette clicks to a stop. I've listened to it so many times. I've even memorized the placement of the statics from the song's original broadcast. Oh no! Has she been committing the piracy? She's one of them there troubled teens. She's going to smoke the cigarettes and maybe the pot. And where the dick may eventually eat the tape, but it never happened to him, no matter how many times he played the damn thing. So I'm not too scared. It used to drive me crazy. Every day he played it over and over again because he had a fascination with music. Quite honestly, it was kind of a hyperfixation. We were all a little bit worried that he might, go crazy and devour us. Sure, he would throw on something different after a few loops, but soon enough, he'd switch back, and the cycle would repeat itself. So you see, I had to kill him. No jury on earth would convict me. He had to die. Sometimes, I think he would do it just to mess with me. I would be in the back, in bed, smothering a pillow over my head to block out the music. He would just turn it up louder, even during all-nighters. That was so like him. Damn you, Ezekiel! Even near the end, when we had to finally settle down, he was still pulling this kind of crap. I'd come home from school sometimes, and the police would be at the door, because the entire block had called in a noise complaint. He said it was because he was hard of hearing, but I knew he did it just to get a rise out of the old grouches who lived nearby. Oh, so he was irritating Karens. I feel for this guy now. I think that was his worst fear, ending up just another bitter sack of bones. Bitter sack of bones! So he did everything in his power to be the exact opposite, right until the end. Right until the weevils I released into his house devoured him. From the bones outward. Of course, that meant I would always deal with the fallout. I cannot imagine what the neighbors thought, seeing a little girl go door to door apologizing because some old man decided it would be funny to put that plastic flamingos all over their award-winning lawns. I couldn't help but smile just a little, even if it does hurt. I take a sip of my coffee. Outside a heat haze simmers all over the never-ending oceans of sand. So much desert. Even Roswell was just rock, sand, a few shacks, all alien-themed, of course. Also, Roswell, this is Gnome history, closes at 5. I was out there for a visit when my dad was delivering a commencement address, and because Papa Pickles is awesome. And I was just kind of bumming around the town because I didn't want to sit in the stands because, quite honestly, I didn't want to be surrounded by a bunch of graduating kids. It was annoying. And I tried to find something to do, and, everything shut down at 5 p.m. Didn't see any UFOs, though. I'm not used to how dry everything is. even with the AC on high enough to rip off my eyebrows, which explains why they look like this. I'm still all sweaty. Guess that's what happens when you laze around in snowy Colorado for a decade. In that regard, the desert is a nice change of scenery. I don't exactly hate it. So the thing about Colorado, it is sometimes aggressively hot. Like, aggressively hot. I drove through it more than a couple of times, and during the summer, it will get as hot as the rest of the Southwest. New sights are nice, especially since his health didn't allow him to do a lot of traveling when I was a little girl. I could see myself getting used to this. Well, maybe in another 15 years when I have everything paid off. Ah, damn it, Amber. You can snap out of it. You can worry about that later. This isn't your trip, so stop being so selfish. I push the eject button. I take the tape out and look it over, probably from the 20th time today. Which is, means I'm not watching the road, and that's probably a concern. I have a worry there. Years worth of brown stains and greasy fingerprints all smudged all over, making it feel grimy to the touch. It still looks like a charm, though. There are more cassettes in the glove compartment, a mixture of mine and his. Mostly his. For I was his child bride. I should just play one of those and get it over with. My hand gravitates towards the latch. It would be okay, right? No. I snatch my hand away from the latch and flip the tape over. Once again, I find myself staring. With a sigh, I stick it back into the deck. I reach towards the play button, taking another look to see if the road is still clear. That's a good thing about driving in the Southwest. Everything is stupidly straight and incredibly clear. Until it isn't. Like always, it... Did I just run over a bird? I slam on the brakes, their shriek piercing my skull. A glance at my rearview mirror shows a girl, cringing next to the ancient-looking car, covering her ears as I screech down the road, making a U-turn of dubious legality. No cop cares. I pull up in front of her car, killing the motorhome's engine. I hop out and shield my eyes from the blazing New Mexico sun. Only now do I realize how precious the AC really is. It doesn't take more than several steps before the girl comes bouncing up to me with a look of relief.
Oh my god, thank you! I was starting to think no one would ever stop.
Okay. Your voice concerns me. How do you make it do that? With each word, she gets a little bit closer, until we're finally within touching distance of each other. Her smiling face now filled my entire field of vision. This tempting innocent. Her bright auburn hair is done in a girlish sidetail, glistening beneath specks of sweat. Standing out in the heat has made her round pale cheeks a sun-kissed red, but she still looks put together, like the desert would sooner melt her than do any real damage to her looks. I almost feel embarrassed to be in front of someone who dresses so cutely, her frilly green top and skirt putting my red t-shirt and khakis to shame, because I am not like other girls. It's all brought together by one thing, though. Her eyes. They're blue within blue. She's a Fremen. Deep and rich, complementing the traces of her misty perfume as she gets closer and closer. Too close. I scramble back and cough, trying to hide any awkwardness.
No problem.
What's she doing out here alone? Driving, though. Hell, is she even alone? I peer off into the plains on the side of the road, half expecting a guy to pop up from his hiding place now that some idiot has fallen for the trap. That idiot being me, of course. But much to my surprise, no one does. Instead, the girl continues to stare at me, smiling as she patiently waits for my response. I glance behind her, focusing on her car.
So what's the issue? Your car breakdown?
I think so, yeah.
More than likely.
I was driving and I just kind of...
What?
Stop.
Yeah.
She lowers her head in shame, eyes fixated on her feet, kicking the dust around her. Yes, feel shame that you have failed your car.
I'm not much of a car buff, but I can take a look at it.
Her head pops back up, and life returns to her eyes.
Oh, wow! Could you?
Yeah. Can't promise that I can do anything, but I can at least check it out.
That'd be great.
Alright, first things first then.
Yes, car, reveal your secrets to us. This thing looks even older than my motorhome. It was probably a nice car once upon a time, with a tinted grille, multiple scratches, and a faded murky green color. It's hard to believe such a cute girl was driving it. I slide into the fabric seat and start the ignition. I don't know too much about how this stuff works, just enough to keep the motorhome from giving out, but I can't imagine it's too significant of an issue. Probably just a dead battery, or... Okay, you know, cars need gas, right? The cars, they require go juice. You have a hungry car. A single car passes by, cooling us with a refreshing gust of wind, sprinkled with dirt and sand.
Is something wrong?
Your car is hungry. Is this a joke?
Oh no, did I break it?
Very badly.
No. It's just out of gas.
What? No way!
Yes.
Dad said I should have filled up before I left.
He was correct. Is she for real? Why is this girl in the middle of nowhere by herself? As if trying to force all the ideas into the center of her brain, the girl grabs her head and whines under her breath.
Ah, man, and I didn't charge my phone either. What am I gonna do?
Die. You are going to die. I'd offer her mine, but I've never had a cell phone in my life. Grandfather thought that they were evil. He was convinced they were stealing his soul, so I was not allowed one. Seems like you'd have to be pretty absent-minded to forget that, though. She whines once more and turns to me.
Hey, this might seem a little weird.
This whole situation seems a little weird. I'm actually convinced you might be some kind of serial killer who is trying to lull me into a false sense of security, thinking you are just this dumb. I am actually curious how you survived into adulthood. The moron airhead cute thing, it kind of just makes me very afraid, because I'm worrying what you're trying to hide. Because you should not have survived into adulthood. I am concerned. I have worries. I have thoughts. I have concerns. Oh no.
But could you take me somewhere nearby so I can get some gas?
Yes, get out of my dreams and into my car. And what do you know? She actually did it.
How long did you say you've been stuck out here?
I don't know. A few hours, maybe?
A few hours. Good Godfrey.
I've been trying to wave down everyone who drives by, but you were the first to stop.
I mean, it's a dusty New Mexico highway, so what, I was also maybe the third person you saw?
Hold on, everyone?
Yep.
This heat must have fried her brain. Does she have any idea how dangerous that is? It's New Mexico. There's like 6 people. It's fine. As someone who's lived in New Mexico, it's fine. Yeah, there's some dangerous elements, but you know what those dangerous elements are gonna do? They see a single girl, they're like this, they're not gonna hurt her because, quite honestly, that would make their mama upset. And you don't upset, if you don't upset mama. That's a rule.
That's probably not a good idea, you know.
She cocks her head to the side and gives me a look of genuine curiosity, like it wasn't obvious or something.
Why?
Like, no, seriously, I've seen, like, absolutely terrifying people in Albuquerque just absolutely go, oh, no, child is in danger, child is hurt, let's get them water, let's get them safe, let's find their mom. Like, anyways.
Well, you know. A cute, young girl alone in the middle of the desert? It's just asking for trouble.
But you're a cute young girl alone in the middle of a desert.
I mean, well, I have a working car, with locks on the door. And thank you! You have acknowledged my cuteness! I am adorable!
What?
Her comeback takes me off guard, and I turn away a little, avoiding eye contact. Her blue within blue eyes can see into my soul.
Yeah, but that's different.
For one, I have this gun! A smile returns to her face, the same bright one that showed me when I first pulled over. I'm still avoiding eye contact, but she leans over to the direction I'm looking and continues to smile.
So, do you think you can give me a ride?
As I said, get out of my dreams and into my car, you strangely heavy-chested 12-year-old.
I don't know.
Like, you both look 10, and it's upsetting.
Please! It shouldn't take very long.
This girl, it's like she didn't even listen to what I said. Still better than me than some psycho. Besides, it's not like a small detour will make me late or anything. I'm already late.
Fine. I'm not in too big of a rush anyway.
Yay!
Yes, yay. Be aware, the state of my motorhome is, I believe the last person who was in there said, horrific. Before I'm even finished, she's springing off the ground, bouncing to the motorhome.
Hey, wait!
Oh no, she's going to find what I left. But it's already far too late, as she somehow made her way into the motorhome before its owner even finding the time to give me a small wave from the passenger seat. I heave a heavy sigh, rubbing my temples as I climb back into the driver's seat. The key is still dangling in the ignition. I wrench it around and the motorhome roars to life, forcing a surprised squeak out of the girl. Yes, it has power. It has strength. It is my chariot.
By the way, my name is Marina. Thank you so much for helping me out.
You are welcome.
Amber, don't mention it.
Careful not to hit her car. I back the RV up and turn it around, sending us in my original direction. I reach for the play button on the cassette player, finally giving it to my temptation. But Marina starts up again.
Why aren't we going the other way? Wasn't there a station a little ways back?
Yes, but that station is less gas station and more front that sells cocaine. And meth. Like a lot of meth. Like, if you ate one of those tamales, I'm pretty sure you're about to start punching my couch.
It was more than a little ways back. I saw a sign a few miles ago that said there was a station not too far from here, so we're going there.
This one has less meth.
Oh wow, I didn't even see that. You're really observant.
I mean, it was a sign that was bigger than me. Bigger than the motorhome. How did you survive into adulthood? Yeah, you're just really oblivious.
Not really.
Take the compliment, Amber, or she'll keep talking. Silence falls between us, the roar of the engine and swishing of the wind from outside being the only sounds. Take that as my cue, and reach for the cassette player once more. Finally give...
How do you even drive this thing? It's huge!
Well, I push the pedals, I turn the wheel. The wheel on the motorhome goes round and round, round and round. The passenger on this motorhome goes, "Ah, what are we doing? We're heading towards that cactus and off a cliff." Marina spreads her arms out like an eagle unfurling its wings, almost popping me on the head in the process. I say boop involuntarily. I clear my throat and grab her arm out from the air, gently placing it upon her lap.
It's not that bad. You get used to it.
And it's a New Mexico highway. Basically, there's nothing else on it besides dust and occasionally tourists. Tourists who will look at me as the palest of pale men and Ask me in broken Spanish. Tu hable Iglesias? Yes, I speak churches. I speak churches most fluently. Catholic, Protestant, Presbyterian, I know them all. I know them all. She tilts her head to the side and gives a light grunt as if saying, "That's so," and we return to the silence of before. Again, I reach for the cassette player.
So what are you doing out here? Are you going camping? Seems like what you're doing is fun.
I keep trying to turn on the music to drown out the idea that you're in my front seat. That's what I'm doing in here, Marina. I take a deep breath, and I hold it as long as possible before letting it out, and then stop myself from reaching for the club.
Just traveling. What about you? Why are you out here?
Oh, well, it's kinda silly.
I think that defines most of your life. She scratches her head and lets out an embarrassed laugh before staring at her feet. She quiets down and, surprisingly, stays quiet. Well, looks like that worked. I reach for the cassette player one last time. I stop for a moment to look at the glove compartment. Then Marina, who looks lost in thought, finally, I press play. And I am informed that I ain't nothing but a hound dog. A pleasant little chime greets me as I enter the station, Marina trailing close behind. The drive was quiet after I turned the music on. Turning the tables on her and asking her what she was doing out here seemed to throw her off. Asking questions seems to terrify this one. I shall remember that. I didn't mean to come off as cold, as I did. It's just been ages since I've had a conversation beyond accepting some half-hearted condolences, though to be fair, I haven't really wanted to hold one. The guy behind the counter is busy ringing someone up, so I set out in search of a gas can. The store is one of those big mini-mart places, made specifically for travelers. It's surprisingly clean for a place surrounded by sand. Every corner has an unnatural sanitary shine accompanied by the scent of citrus cleaning product. And if you think that New Mexico is just covered in sand, it again confirms to me that this was written by someone who has never been to New Mexico. It's somewhat aggravating. Sand would make more sense if we're talking Nevada, or maybe some parts of Arizona. Some parts of California, too. New Mexico is more kind of dusty soil. It's kind of more of a mountainous region, higher elevation, and the heat is more kind of a dry heat. So as soon as you don't really need much of an air conditioner, just go inside, and it decreases by temperature by 20 degrees. It's a fun dry heat. I really kind of dug
They
it.
have cola flavor here.
Yes, a mini-mart has cola. Are you surprised by this? I turn and find Marina clutching the slushy machine, her eyes widening like a cat's when tempted with yawn. Yes, it will have cola. It's the American South fucking West.
Don't most gas stations have it?
She shakes her head, but doesn't take her eyes off the machine.
All the places back home only had cherry and raspberry. When we got sick of them, we just had to mix them together.
Okay.
But
How many, slushies are you having that you're getting sick of them? I have a slushie once every couple of years. Am I the weird one? Am I the weird one? Yes, most assuredly. But also, I think you are weird. Marina finally turns to me, wearing a face of pure concentrated sadness.
I left my wallet in the car.
How are you going to buy gas if you left your wallet in the car? Explain this to me. Also, how have you survived to adulthood? It's the saddest thing I've ever seen. Just looking at her, I can feel my heart... Wait a second!
How were you expecting to pay for the gas?
Amber, you and I are of one mind. One mind, one thought. Do not trust the Fremen. She will stab you with her crysknife. All in search of her Muad'Dib.
I don't know. I just remembered.
How do you function? How did she last 5 minutes out in the desert?
Fine, I guess I'll pay for it.
I have a feeling that's going to be happening a lot if we continue to hang out.
Really?
Yes, you owe me.
Yeah. And grab yourself one of those slushies too.
Amber, this woman is going to kill you.
But make it a small one.
This is your inner voice, warning you. The Fremen cannot be trusted. The Fremen cannot be trusted. She has not shared her water with you. Her pure concentrated sadness melts into pure concentrated happiness.
You're the best, Amber.
I know. She grabs a cup, holds down the button until the slushy overfills, and drips down the side. God, don't spill that in the motorhome. It's filthy enough already. I was going to pay for the gas anyway, but I'm hoping the drink makes up for the drive over. I spot the gas cans, and with Marina happily sipping her drink, grab one and head for the counter. The guy at the register is still ringing up the same girl, who seems allergic to shirts. Lines of flimsy plastic bags line the counter, filled with a mixture of off-brand junk food and gardening tools. He scans the items as the girl digs through her wallet, her bandana-wrapped head pressing her phone against her shoulder. So she's an asshole. If you are at a front counter of a store and you are talking on your phone while checking out, you're an asshole. And people should push you down so that you get out of the line. No, I'm not going to apologize for this hot take, but if you are doing that, you value no one's time. So people shouldn't value you as a person. You are unpersoned. I say this as somebody whose motto is, you are all valuable, you all have worth, and I'm proud of you. But if you do this, you are an ass. You are on tier with the people who talk in movie theaters and people who slow down to a stop at a green light to make a turn. They'll stop and stay there for 3 seconds and go, should I turn? Yes, you asshole, you have a green light. Don't make me kill you. I will end your line.
Aren't you supposed to be the badass mechanic? What good are you if you're not?
Yes, agreed, woman who is allergic to shirts. She swipes out a card and hands it to the cashier, more interested in staring at her nails than looking at him, because she sucks. She's a terrible person.
How the hell would I know? Have the squirt check underneath if you're so curious.
On the other end of the line, I can hear the faintest of squabbling. I can't make out anything they're saying, but the tone sounds worlds more tolerable than the girls.
If it's that old, then I say do it. Cash is cash. It's not like anyone's gonna care.
I mean, you might if the car explodes.
You better not take as long as last time, though. I'll be waiting for you slackers outside.
Hey, maybe if you, paid attention to your surroundings, you'd be able to afford a shirt that closes. The girl slides her phone back into the crevasses of her dangerously unzipped jumpsuit. What little clothing she has on underneath looks like it's going to burst from the slightest movement. Not my type, especially with that personality, but it's hard for me to do anything other than stare. The attendant reaches out to help with the bags, but the girl snaps them away before he can. She shoots him with a heated glare that burns straight through the man and into the wall behind him. How dare he offer to help? And, do his job. When most of these places, most gas stations, require you to use a little machine thing so you have control of your card, they don't slide your card, so he was being incredibly nice and incredibly fucking patient, and you're an absolute terrible person who treats people in the service industry like they're lesser. That's actually a really bad thing to do, because it's basically incredibly cruel, and they're just trying to do their fucking job. So how about you let them do their job, and you treat them with some basic human respect and human dignity? Okay? Okay. Turning around, the girl looks at us for a second before rolling her eyes. then marches out the door, the bags weighing her down as I nearly scrape the ground. Yeah, definitely not my type. Aw, he looks cute. I like this guy.
Good luck.
Yeah, hopefully she'll fall. Marina and I set the can and nearly empty slushy on the counter.
Will that be all?
No, I also need to buy gas.
Yeah, sorry for more boring than that other girl.
The attendant hacks out a dry cackle and scans the gas can. He flicks his oily ponytail behind his shoulder and then rings up Marina's drink.
Been a lot of folks passing through and stocking up the past few days.
Really?
It's been a good change of pace.
I can imagine. A store like this, I can imagine failing pretty quickly. It's a little big for, like, rural New Mexico.
I'm guessing that's why you girls are here, too.
Yes. Marina eases in towards the counter, nudging herself tightly between me and a rack. Plans creeping over to the slushy.
For what? I'm just heading out to California.
I'm going out to California! If I don't end up driving myself insane first. Or insanier. Crazier? Crazier, yes.
You mean you don't know?
I don't know many things. The attendant freezes, forgetting about the scanner in his hand. Blinding right beams from it onto my chest.
About what?
He is trying to scan me!
Why, the dress...
Yes, it is, Pepsi. Yes, it is. The treasure. Marina's hand stopped just shy of grabbing the cup. By the by, it's good to see you, Pepsi. I hope that you're having a lovely day, for you are a lovely person. An absolute gem of humanity. Ellen has good taste, then.
Treasure?
Treasure? We must have the treasure! The clerk's chubby face morphs into a grin.
You telling me that you girls haven't heard of the treasure in the journal?
The treasure and the journal? I can have a journal, too. Visual novel Friday is the best avenue through which to channel such days of gnomic manic energy as this? Darn right. Dude, I dealt with the CrowdStrike issue all last night, so I needed something just light and fun. The computer network for the hotel I work at shut down. It just shut down. So I had to check everyone in through paper. So I need something silly, cute, and romantic. That's what I've decided today.
I have.
Marina has heard of the journal? I frown, embarrassed. Marina looks at the floor again, her cheeks flushing red. I guess she's always just this forward.
Oh, well, I heard about it on the news.
On the news? You watch the news? I'm surprised you can turn a TV on, Marina. Thank you for the lurk, Punages. You're always welcome here, you know that, right?
It's kind of why I drove down here.
Really?
You drove out into the middle of the desert for treasure?
Treasure. Treasure most foul.
Sorry, but you've lost me.
Not just any treasure, Missy. The miner's treasure.
So, it's a child's treasure? So I'm guessing baseball cards, maybe a comic book or two, and maybe one of those, bottles of cooking wine that they've stolen from their mother, who just kind of gets a little bit concerned, and then you realize tastes like absolute ass. He says it like it should clarify what he meant. I stare at him. He stares back. We stare at each other. I take my things and leave. Marina sips the last dregs of her slushy.
You honestly don't know.
I don't know many things. I'm going out California way.
Not a clue. Are you gonna change that?
Tells me then thumbtacks, rubber bands, and a pocket full of caterpillars. Darn right. Sounds like an awesome childhood.
A little feisty, ain't you?
Yes. Yes, I am
Not
feisty.
really. Just have stuff to do.
Fair enough. A little while back, some folks were going through all the trash in their garage.
Okay. And let me guess, they found one of those Final Fantasy IV boxes.
As fate would have it, they came across an old journal.
And it said what boys were the cutest?
Turns out the thing belonged to their great uncle. Or maybe it was their great grandfather. I don't know. Some dead old man.
Dead old men have always hidden treasures from me. They cut him off with a cough, a polite hint for him to either get on with it or quit his yammering. I mean, this guy is just trying to be nice. Despite apparently knowing all this, Marina continues to stay focused with rapt attention. Sometimes her drink makes her that annoying slurping sound again. I'm betting that Marina is just mesmerized by his shiny hair.
Sorry. I'll try keeping it short.
Yes.
Anyway, after flipping through it, they found out that he'd struck it rich during the gold rush.
Good for him.
If he struck it rich, then wouldn't the family know about it? They'd have to be pretty well off, right?
I mean, that seems logical. That is a logical conclusion. How dare you bring logic into gold hunting?
Oh, I can answer that.
Really? Is it going to be about how you want another cola smoothie?
He went back home to Missouri without any gold and told all his friends he hid it.
Why? Why? By now the slushy is all gone. Marina tries for one last sip, but all that sucked through the straw is air. She peers down into the cup and blows out a small sigh.
No one believed him, though.
Because he didn't, come back with gold. Usually when I strike it rich, I take the gold home. I raise an eyebrow if even this girl knows about it, and I must be more out of the loop than I thought. Or you just don't listen to crazy people.
Well now, looks like Sister here has been doing her research.
By research, do you mean she looked at pretty pictures for like 15 seconds? Because I'm pretty sure, I don't mean to be that guy, but her car stopped because it ran out of gas on the highway. And she thought it was broken. So, she also left her wallet and became fascinated by a cola slushie. I'm very concerned about how she survived. I don't mean to be sexist, but I'm actually a little bit concerned about this. The attendant leans into the counter and smirks.
Story goes, he wanted to eventually move his family out west and dig his gold back up along the way, but kicked it before he could.
Okay, then why not bring back some of the gold to pay for moving expenses? Because moving is especially expensive, especially back in the times of the gold rush, when there weren't a lot of cars, and you had to move stuff that took a time to move. It wasn't like, let's all pile in a U-Haul. It was, hey, let's load up this cart and get a couple of donkeys and shit. All perfectly valuable problem-solving techniques that I've been personally known to employ myself, right? He slices his thumb along his neck and makes a cheesy sound effect to go with it. Marina giggles, but I just keep staring.
The folks that found the journal ended up selling it to some hotshot publishing house. Now everyone wants to retrace his steps and find the treasure.
So it sounds like somebody made a fake journal, sold it to a publishing house as kind of like a hey, let's make some money, and the publishing house, out of kind of like a marketing gimmick, released it as nonfiction, and now people are just being dumb about it.
Shipments have been selling like hotcakes. Just got ours last week.
Okay. He points to a rack of identical books sitting by the door. A sign hanging above it reads, "Treasure of the Desert, a miner's journey. Take part in the new gold rush." Sounds like something dreamed up by the tourism board. Yeah, that'll stick in people's heads.
And people are really buying into this?
Amber, sweetie, never ever underestimate the public's ability to believe in something dumb.
Sure are. I've worked here for over 20 years, and never have I seen this many people passing through. Even the Banshee before you was here for some supplies and a journal.
Neat. Sure, okay, this is a hoax if I've ever seen one.
And where is this supposed treasure?
No one knows.
Then, so if there are clues leading to a treasure, why would the family sell the journal?
It's all scattered around the desert. They say the journal has hints to its whereabouts.
Okay, why would he leave hints in a... Okay, actually, no, that does make sense because I know a lot of neurospicy people. And the neurospicy people I know, basically, to put it as plainly as one of my friends did, if I'm not looking at my kitchen, the problem and the mess disappears. It no longer exists. So, that makes sense. Because you just kind of forget about things, and it becomes one of those, like, hey, I needed to do something. Oh yeah, I needed to fix this giant gash on my arm. How did I forget about that? I don't know. I just did.
Uh-huh. Marina, you said this is why you drove out here.
Yep, that's right.
Marina, I thought you were, like, on some self-discovery kick, but now I'm actually more worried about your ability to survive through adulthood.
But you don't really believe the treasure exists, do you?
Sure I do.
Why? She pauses to think.
At least, I want to.
Okay, wanting to makes sense.
But wouldn't it be super cool if there was treasure?
Not really. I mean, the kind of fun of finding something would be nice, but, I mean, just finding somebody else's hopes for the future and realizing that they had buried it so that they could give their family a better life and then ended up dying before they could do that, it feels incredibly sad. It feels incredibly sad because all of their dreams were then buried in the dirt and left behind, and they weren't able to give their family the lives that they wanted, because they didn't just flat out tell the family, here's where it is.
Sure, it would be cool. But there's a good chance there isn't. And even if there were, do you know where to start looking?
And by good chance, it's an almost certainty. Well, actually, no, considering we are
not
playing a video
really.
game, it's
I never
probably
got
much
that
more
far.
likely.
I don't even have a copy of the journal.
If you don't have a copy of the journal, why did you come out here? It can't be that hard to find. She lowers her head like she knows there's a good chance what I'm saying is true.
But I have to try.
Why? Her voice is soft and quiet, but there's a faint glow of determination behind it. It makes me feel ashamed for scolding, but the idea that she dropped everything for treasure is insane. To her credit, she did a little research, but that's cancelled out by driving to the desert without a full tank of gas. She wasn't prepared at all. Also, how are you doing a little research if you don't have the journal? Like, I have questions. The people who care about her must be worried sick. I barely even know her, and I'm worried. She's like a kitten.
Aw, don't be too hard on her, Missy. After all, who could resist a good treasure hunt?
Me? He looks to Marina and gives a big, gummy grin, courtesy of his missing teeth.
Ain't that right, sister?
Marina springs back with a smile of her own.
That's right!
Darn right! Rolling my eyes, I reach into my pocket and pass some crumpled bills to the clerk.
Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I see it.
He shrugs and stuffs the cash into the register, though now I'm just paying for the tank. And an empty cup, I pocket the change. I give a casual wave from the exit. That should be good enough, thank you. Marina follows, though a bit more animated, waving her arm like a fan as she says goodbye.
Oh, and sister?
Yes?
Yeah?
You go ahead and take one of them journals.
Aw,
Free of charge.
neat, thank you.
Really?
Marina lights up like a firecracker and bounces up and down like she's a kid again. Probably a sugar rush.
Oh, wow! Thanks, mister!
I'm kind of surprised you didn't have a copy already. In one swift motion, she swipes one of the remaining books off the rack, so fast that I swear my eyes are skipping frames.
Hey, Amber! Look! He gave me one for free.
Yes, Marina, I was there. I was next to you. I heard the man speak too.
Yeah, I see it.
I tune out her chattering and nod as we walk out into the parking lot, so we can finally get the fuel. The attendant shouts one last thing, his voice fading behind the glass of a closing door.
Good luck on your trip.
Desert people are weird. And again, this is further showing me that the person who wrote the story has never set foot in New Mexico. All right.
No way.
Yes?
Maybe it's further up the road?
Marina, dear heart, did you leave the key in the car with your wallet? Asking for a friend, Mr. Axe, who is also an axe.
I can't believe it. It's gone.
We could have just passed it.
We could have passed your mint green car.
We weren't even away that long. How can it be gone?
You'd be surprised. We stare at the empty space that once housed a certain ugly green car. I look in every conceivable direction, but there's nothing. Nothing but an ocean of sand and a never-ending stretch of road. Was it Toad? Yes, likely. No, not out here. Not this quick.
Where the hell did it go?
Probably a chop shop. I heard a ding! I heard a ding. Thank you, new citizen. You are welcomed to our humble home. Hello, Sukatako. Sukatako? I'm probably mispronouncing your name. I apologize for that. You are very welcome here. We are proud to have you.
Yeah, that is kind of weird, isn't it?
Very weird. It's almost as if you probably left your keys in a working car that just needed a little bit of gas on a New Mexico highway. Away from everyone, away from, like, population centers. And somebody saw it and went, ooh, free car. Marina's hand rests against her cheek as she looks on with only mild confusion, like she's trying to solve a small mystery. You are a kitten in human form, and I worry how you have survived to adulthood. I have concerns and questions.
Your car is missing!
And her wallet.
That's more than a little weird.
She also... Oh god, we've adopted her, haven't we? We've adopted her. She's our kitten now.
Well, it's actually my big brother's car. He just lent it to me when he left for college.
Oh, so it gets better. Cat distribution system? I dig it. That's how I got my 2 babies.
Oh, well that makes everything better then.
Yes. It means that you're not the legal owner and therefore probably can't go to the police about it. Oh.
Really?
She's a fellow girl failure. Hey. Pepsi, you're not a failure at all, dear heart. After all, you found your way here. That's success. Finding your way here means you have succeeded in finding the best streamer on Twitch.
No!
The 3 G's. Girl boss keep gaslight. Darn right. I let out a heavy sigh and pressed my fingers to my temple, attempting to massage away the stress and irritation.
It was probably stolen. We'll need to call the police.
The police? You're calling the police in rural New Mexico? It's after 5. He's gone home.
You have a phone, right?
It was left in her car, wasn't it?
I do, but...
She left it in the car. Her voice trails off the cliff. What she said earlier echoes in my head.
That's right. You said it was dead. And I'm guessing you left it in your car.
10 points to Gnome!
Yeah.
Well, that's just great.
Don't you have one?
No, who would I call? I'm a surly young thing who's not like other girls. Don't you know? That means I like cars and punk rock. And do not have phones.
Never needed one.
Afraid no one would call you?
Wow, that fucking cuts deep, Marina. That cuts real deep.
Not quite.
Wow. Like, I know I'm kind of a bitch, but, like, you don't have to be mean about it, girl. I shield my eyes and look up at the dry sky. Its color has shifted to a glowing orange as sunset begins to settle over the distant valley peaks. Look, Marina, I have one bed in my motorhome, and I don't really trust you, so also the phone comment. It's gonna get dark pretty soon.
Don't worry, Amber. I would call you.
That's what I'm afraid of, Marina. I can't just leave her. Even if she did have her phone, it would take forever before anyone could get out here. She'd go from burning up in the heat to freezing out in the cold within a few hours. Plus, if there are people around who would steal cars, then there's no telling who else is out here. I mean, honestly, though, like, as I said, in rural New Mexico, I've seen, like, the most terrifying guys who would, stab 17 people. See, like, oh, lost girl, lost child-like person, protect and help. Like, there's a rule. There's a rule that you don't do things that would upset Mama. I can already see how well this will all go down. She would huddle at the side of the road, trying to keep warm, and a pack of coyotes would be howling all around her, closing in. Then from down the road, a starved creep would pull up in a trashy old pickup truck, open his door for her, and... well, no, I can see exactly what would happen if coyotes surrounded her. She would reach out and go, "Puppy!" And she would try to cuddle it. And then problems would happen. Oh, God.
Hey, where are you from? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, I'm from Carlsbad.
You're from Carlsbad? Huh. So you are probably not very far from where you grew up, so that's not too bad. Also, how did you grow up in Carlsbad and not know how to take care of a car? Because, like, the youngest car in Carlsbad is, like, 2,000 years old. And, dude, if people get a chance, the Carlsbad Caverns, really beautiful, beautiful area. It's one of the best nuclear dumping sites in the country. Because the U.S. government basically went, hey, we have all this waste. Let's go shove it in the biggest hole we can. And Carlsbad Caverns was that hole. But there's a place, the places that aren't full of waste, of radioactive waste, are really just absolutely gorgeous. The canyons have some of the best rocks that you can see in the Southwest, some of the best columns. Really, really beautiful area. Yeah, New Mexico is one of those states that the U.S. government has kind of just decided, because most of it was kind of wasteland, that they could just put all of the radioactive shit in. It's why it was home to... the creation of the first warheads. Maybe a little waste explains some of Marina's behavior. Probably a little bit. She ate all of the cesium. Exactly. New Mexico. It's actually a very beautiful state. I loved going to school there. I had to leave because there's no jobs, and like basically, the economy is not exactly super great. Actually, back in college, got stuck in my bank when they were filming No Country for Old Men, because they were using our town's main street as like that scene where the contract killer is walking down the street and that it was that scene. Oh my god, somebody just was like, hey, Cesium, I'm the Cesium Bunny, here you go! I love it. I'm gonna have to look that up. Ooh, shiny rock. Oh, that's delightful. Oh, got a text from work. Really quick, give me a sec. Okay, looks like everyone's schedule is changing, but mine. That works for me. Sorry, got interrupted there. Alright, so she pauses for a moment.
Or at least kinda close to it. It's a little out of the way.
Carlsbad is a little out of the way. It's like a town of 300 people.
Carlsbad? You're from California?
Carlsbad is not in California.
No, silly! Carlsbad, New Mexico.
Oh, right.
How do you know Carlsbad, California, but you don't know Carlsbad, New Mexico? Had me go in there for a second.
How far is that?
Maybe 2 hours from here?
Great, we're just gonna drop her off back home, and it will cease being our problem.
Wow, you didn't get very far at all, did you?
A little bit of revenge for the phone comment. Marina lowers her head in shame.
I never really seem to.
Aw, she's trying to escape. Also, how are you this pale living in New Mexico? Like, honest question. How? Do you not go outside? Though I'm not really one to talk. I've been on the road less than a day. Would have gotten farther if traffic on the I-40 wasn't such a pain in the butt. Or if I didn't pick up Marina. She's a neat girl failure. Darn right.
Hey, listen. You don't live too far away. If you want, I can probably give you a lift back home.
I prep myself for an explosion of thankful energy and excitement. But there isn't one. Instead, she continues to stare at the ground, her hands now balled up in a fist as she fidgets ever so slightly. Oh, she's going to attack us and steal our RV.
Something wrong?
She shifts her gaze from the ground and looks me straight in the eyes, drawing a deep, long breath.
Remember the treasure we were talking about at the store?
Yes?
Yeah.
I know it's a lot to ask, and you've already helped me out so much already.
How about if I give you a bottle of water, a sandwich, and send you on your way?
But do you think you could take me to the first place the treasure is?
I'm gonna have to, or it's gonna be a real short video game.
Huh?
She wants to keep going, even after this entire disaster.
The treasure! Could you take me to the first?
I heard you the first time. It's just...
You just take her home in the game, that's right? Like, okay, and I dropped her off, and I'm driving to California to deal with my grandfather's estate. It's just...
You don't even know if this thing is real, but you've dropped everything to go look for it.
I mean, judging by her everything about her, I don't think she had much going on, Amber, so...
And now you're asking me, someone you've just met out in the middle of the desert, to take you to it.
As some of us here have said, the Cat Distribution Center. She is a kitten in human form.
Even though you don't know if it's real and you've just had your car stolen.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty sure this is how she lives day to day.
Did I catch all that?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Shameless. Absolutely shameless. I'm at a loss for words. Sir fifth stolen car this semester. They're just kind of being gathered. How do I even respond to that? I try to recollect my thoughts, But only one word comes to mind.
Why?
Exactly. Marina shrugs. Nothing more than that. She just shrugs. I take a look at her. A good look. Her wavy hair has been dried out by the hot desert air. Her face is red and drenched in sweat, probably close to melting off her makeup. Even her nice clothes are a little ruffled. But despite all that, this cute, peppy girl wants to keep pressing on. Even when most people would have just called it quits after the car broke down. Even out here, all by herself. For all I know, she could be some weirdo out to mug me. This is all some elaborate scheme. But she wants my help. My help. It's been a while since anyone has needed that. It's like an honor. Do I deserve that? No, probably not. Ha! Game and I are of one mind. But she's still asking, why should I say no? I don't have to be in California for another few weeks. And isn't that why I'm taking this trip? To see the sights? For him. She's a little excitable, and even more naive, but maybe I need a little bit of that. It's a lot better than just being out here all by myself, with nothing but the ghosts of my memories to keep me company. Really, there's one ghost, his name is Charlie, he keeps telling me to burn things, and then I get out of the RV and I'm like, it's already on fire! Like, it's New Mexico. It catches fire every other week. Even if it's just for a little while. No, seriously, when I was down there for college, basically there were 3 major fires when I was studying. It was a thing. And no, I didn't cause all of them. I know what you're saying. But just because I have incendiary bombs.
Why the hell not? Hop in.
For real?
Yes, for real.
Yeah, for real.
For legal reasons, I have never caused a single fire. I choose to believe that. I believe that just without any question, because you are a citizen of this fine pickle parliament, and therefore you are innocent, until proven even more innocent.
But only until the first location. After that...
The breath is forced out of me by the sharp impact of Marina tackling my stomach. A warm but damp sensation wraps itself tightly around me, as dead weight snuggles against my chest, and starts purring because you are a kitten in human form!
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you!
What are you doing?
Being adorable.
I'm hugging you, silly.
I don't know what hugs are! I'm not like other girls! My cheeks grow warmer with each passing second. I try to wiggle my way out, but she stays latched on, her grip getting tighter and tighter. After all, she's trying to suffocate me so that she can unhinge her jaw and devour me.
Marina, please. You're all sweaty.
Sorry. I'm just super happy.
Skinwalker ending, turn right. She unlatches herself, letting me clear my throat and recollect myself.
Anyway, let's get inside. I'm burning up out here.
Yes. And I'm definitely not burning up because a cute girl has hugged me. I don't know why you are asking that. I'm not like other girls. We clamber back inside the motorhome, leaving the dry hellishness behind. I turn the ignition from the couch and let the AC blast away the RV's stuffiness. Okay, the thing about New Mexico is that you don't really need an air conditioner. Just unroll the window and, like, once you're in the shade, it drops by like 10, 15, 20 degrees. It's a stupidly dry heat, mostly caused by elevation. I hate to be that guy, but I spent several years in that state, and I'm getting kind of a little bit annoyed. Letting out breaths of sweet relief, Marina and I collapse back into our seats.
Alright, so where's the first piece of the treasure?
Well...
You have no idea, do you?
That's not true! The news said a part of it was somewhere here in New Mexico. Probably.
In New Mexico, one of the largest states in the Union. One of the biggest states in the goddamn United States. Full of canyons, mountains, and valleys. It's the beginning of Breaking Bad. Potentially. New Mexico trailer home. There are a surprising amount of trailers. Like a It's a metric ton. I'm not surprised at all. Should have seen this coming. Although New Mexico, like... The only reason that you were wrong is that there are 12 kilograms of methamphetamine hidden in the toilet. Thank you very much. She was a very productive cook. You know, I kid, but I kid, but there's like a lot of really cool history in New Mexico, and I'm gonna geek out a little bit over it. Starvation Point is something that everyone should look up because it's one of the few times that natives actually kicked the butt of conquistadors. The natives basically forced the Spanish colonists up Starvation Point, which was this very tall plateau, and they allowed them to leave. But knowing that the colonists would come back with bigger guns, they're like, okay, you can come back, you can still be in charge, but the office of the Inquisition, not allowed. You cannot let the Inquisition into New Mexico. And they agreed. So New Mexico became actually a very safe haven for Spanish Jews who would come over and escape and would hang out in New Mexico. And that's why New Mexico has actually one of the highest Jewish populations in the United States. Because of Spanish Jews who were like, hey, I don't want to leave Spanish territory because it's all I know, and I want my family to be able to be, continue to be Spanish, but I don't want the Inquisition to go, hey, you're not Catholic, time for you to die. It's also one of the few states that kind of went, hey, the Confederacy can bite me. New Mexico refused statehood because because of the compromise that there had for each slave state, there had to be a non-slave state and vice versa. They refused to join and be a slave state because they're like, no, we will not allow slavery within our borders. Fucking rad state. It doesn't get enough credit.
You have the journal?
Yeah, New Mexico's a goddamn banger of a place.
Yeah?
She hands the cheap paperback book to me. The cover feels like it could fall apart at the turn of a page. The whole thing is fitting out of its rustic design. I slide my thumb across the edges and flip through the pages. Thick forewords and passages commenting on the journal's historical significance get past my eyes, most long enough to be their own book. Finally, a photocopied picture of one of the original entries appears, preserving faded cursive lettering, the entire thing printed on the next page over. Crusting brown stains and wrinkles engrave the photo. Some of the writing has been scratched out too, like someone made mistakes and couldn't erase them. I hate to admit it, but for something that's probably a sham, the thing looks pretty authentic. With bounty and satisfaction in hand, I am now homeward bound! With this other dog and this cat. The perilous journey forthcoming, through my unrivaled intellect, an unmatched ambition! I have succeeded in accomplishing what many believed would no longer prove profitable. Of course, this only comes as a surprise to those around me, not to myself. I had traveled this way on the trail, with many others from the Missouri Territory. But as my typical characteristic success grew, I could sense the envious stares amongst my so-called peers. The danger eventually became so great that I wished to flee, but my companions left before I woke. For what reason, you may ask? I do not know! It is with this in mind that I have taken it upon myself to leave a note for one of my fellow prospectors, and to borrow his steed so that I may one day return. Dipper, baby boy, what's wrong, Speedy? Dip, what's wrong, baby? I see you. Sorry, Dipper is being very excitable at the moment. Dipper, are you okay? Do you need more water? It is very hot out. Excuse me for a second, folks. I have to go make sure the kitties have water. I'll be right back. Okay, so Dipper's food is full. His water is full. I think he is just wanting attention, but then when I went to give him attention, he ran away. Oh, the fun of semi-feral kittens. I think he can't find his sister. Which is funny, because she's right above him in the cat tree. So, oh well. Dipper and Mabel are now just demanding attention, but refuse the attention. I love them so. But if this journey has taught me anything thus far, it is that jealous, conniving eyes are abundant, but I am no fool. With my unparalleled wit, I've chosen to distribute portions of this gold across my travels. For my intelligence, yeah, I'm not reading all this crap. Where should I actually start? Let's see if he left California, lived in Missouri, and supposedly hid something in New Mexico, like Marina said. Then what are we looking for is likely a later entry.
Here we are.
Alas, I have reached the final point of diversion in my travels. My stay. Everybody should. Procol Harum? I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a rock band. Cool. I will check them out. Reason asked, because Mabel is a sick name. I named them after... So, this is going to be kind of mildly embarrassing, but I named my cats after the kids in Gravity Falls. Because they are twins, who, where one is adventurous and a little bit more social, and the other is an explorer. You do now. Don't realize. Continue game until I Google and I will... Rad. Thank you. Alas, I have reached the final point of diversion in my travels. During my stay along the ruined sanctuary, the rogue native, Lamasi, had informed me of a landmark that was rich in mythos of his people, considered sacred. Neat, thank you. The chance of gold being discovered would be very slim. He referred to it as a winged rock, a monument erected towards the sky. After my previous detour, I finally arrived. It is with much disbelief, I must say, my friend Lamasi was right. It's not just a monument erected towards the sky, it is a mountain. Almost as if the Lord himself had struck up the earth around the sand. It is guarded by trails of rock around it, all branching from the mother rock. Thank you, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar. On this journey I have encountered many different sights, dangers, and yes, even an occasional friend. As I look upon the mountains before me, I'm reminded once more that there are things bigger and greater than I. Although I'm not yet rid of the cough, my soul has been humbled and removed of fatigue. I can think of no better place to store the last of my gold, and anxiously await the day I return.
What does it say?
The gist of it is that it's near a big rock and a bunch of little rocks.
Well, I mean, probably a sacred monument to a local tribe. Of which most of the tribes kind of had most of their members killed off.
That should narrow it down, right?
I mean, a lot of the pueblos around are, like 6 people now.
Yeah, to the entire state of New Mexico.
We're in a gasp and lunges towards the journal. The muscles in her neck tensed and eyes wide with panic.
That can't be the only thing he mentioned. There has to be more.
I mean, probably if we had the original journal. I raise the journal high above me so she can't reach it, using my hand as a blockade against her head as she desperately tries to grasp for it. Dude, she's a little sister. Little sisters don't fight fair. I say that as I have 3 of them.
Sheesh, relax for a second. I actually have a pretty good idea of where it might be.
She settles down, still stiff with anxiety, nibbling on the tip of her thumb. I lower the book back down and read over the entry once more, just to make sure.
There's a part where he calls it a winged rock. Assuming my years of reading travel guides and brochures weren't totally useless, then I'm pretty sure that's a loose translation of what the Navajo used to call shiprock.
There's a ship out in the desert? Whoa.
How do you not know about Shiprock? How? If you live in Carlsbad, how do you not know about Shiprock? I peer over the journal. Marina's imagination is going bonkers. Her eyes are light as she tries to wrap her head around such a novelty, even existing. Okay, someone living in New Mexico not knowing about Shiprock is like somebody living in Australia and not knowing about the Sydney Opera House. Or not knowing about Ayers Rock. Or someone in Nepal not knowing about Mount St. Helens. It's one of the most important geological features.
How long have you lived in New Mexico?
The Sydney one. I will say. I will. Touche, Boona, just touche. Marina swells up with pride, only to deflate like a balloon before speaking, instead choosing to blow a misplaced strand of hair out of the way.
Oh, my life.
I sigh and slam the journal shut. Sorry, no worries. No, you broke me quite severely and in a talented fashion. So I salute you, sir. I salute you, sir. Sorry, I gotta gulp down my coffee before it goes cold.
It's a small mountain near the border of New Mexico and Utah that's vaguely shaped like a ship.
I mean, that's one way to put it. You know, I love you. I do. And I reciprocate.
Okay. That makes way more sense.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. Thing's a landmark.
Not just a landmark, it's one of the defining features of New Mexico.
Yeah. But hey, at least I know now.
Darn right. Shrugging, I put away the journal and smirk. Misplaced as it might be, her cheeriness is a good mix-up from the norm.
Do you think the treasure might be there?
Probably not. Not if it's near not if it's near Shiprock.
Don't know, but it's worth a shot. We don't have anything else to go on.
Like, a lot of people go by there.
Sure you don't want me to just take you home?
Marina hesitates for a moment, turning to the windshield as if to dodge the question with her eyes.
No, I think I want to do this.
Alright then.
If you're 2 hours from Carlsbad, that means that you are probably, like, a good, decent amount. You're probably, if I'm remembering my geography correctly, you're near the southwest edge of New Mexico, and now you're going to go towards the northeast edge? Put the car in drive and look ahead. The sun has set, the blue shade of dusk rising up to take its place. I press down on the gas. Marino turns to me and smiles.
Let's hit the road.
The sun has long since set and given way to darkness. Only my headlights remain, illuminating the road and silhouetting the small rock formations around us. It's been alternating between the old tape and new ones, immediately throwing on the old tape after finishing a new one and vice versa. I haven't had any complaints from Marina. She's been sitting at my side the entire time, softly humming off-key to the music. She seems to be the type to just accept things as they are, like with her car being stolen, or that treasure. Especially that treasure, which if we find I'm taking 95% of, because it's my RV, my water she's drinking, my gosh darn food she's eating, and considering that she hasn't changed clothes in like probably a day and a half, my shirt she's going to be wearing. And considering it's a Yuri visual novel, my pants she's probably going to be taking off. And to make it worse, it's not just her. Apparently it's some phenomenon now. Goes to show how much I keep up with current events. But the whole thing smells like a scam. She's cute, but like in a mentally damaged way. That like makes me think that I might end up causing harm. Like, I bet somewhere along the big shots from that publishing house are gathered up in their co-op tower, laughing at the idiots they've ripped off with this book. Christ, I'm even starting to sound like him. The music turns to static before the cassette is silenced by a loud click. I eject it and reach for his old tape again. Marina notices, taking an opportunity to break the long-held silence.
So, do you like music a lot?
Yes, I like music a lot.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
I figured. You've been playing those tapes this entire time.
Darn right. She picks up one of the tapes on the center console and inspects it, going as far as to poke her pinky through one of the holes.
Though, I'm not sure what you'd call this type of music.
Yeah, I've just been playing whatever. Mostly jazz fusion and alt country. Throw in some new age crap in there for good measure.
Oh, yes, because I am not like other girls, TM.
Most of these are mixtapes I made when I was little.
Cool. Any names I'd recognize?
Probably not. She peeks at me through the holes of the cassette, wearing a wide, genuine smile.
Probably not.
Aw, come on. Try me.
Why not? Maybe I'm not giving her enough credit.
You know, Gabriel, Gertu, Weather Report, Donovan, Methany.
I recognize one of those names. Marina gives me a sage-like nods and grunts of understanding as I lift off the names.
You have no idea who any of them are, do you?
Not at all.
Blue.
That's what I thought.
Sorry. I usually listen to whatever's on the radio.
Yeah, you look like you could be enchanted by a bell or shiny keys. I crack a slight smile. Donovan, darn right.
It's alright. I could see how it might be hard to get into. My gramps used to call it road trip music.
I still think it's nice, though. It's making you really happy.
Oh, Dipper, have you come to say hello? Okay, no you have not. No you have not. You've come to knock over bottles. I know, baby boy. I know.
You think so?
I have the best streaming partner. A surly kitty who now is upset because I picked him up. Okay, there you go. Yep, he did not appreciate that. He did not appreciate that. She taps her finger gently against my cheek. I pull away a little, but let her do it anyway. Ooh, what did you get? Get anything delicious?
Yeah. Why else would you be smiling?
Well, I adopted a human cat, and I'm at Shiprock, which is always nice. Casa Mackay, Brazilian delicacy. Ooh. Purple berries, South American palm tree. Ooh. Okay, the picture of that looks absolutely delicious. I can tell why it's a delicacy. It looks tasty. I hope you enjoy. I've never really thought about whether it made me happy before, but I do know it made him happy, so that's good enough for me. It's got some fried chicken. That one is more normal. Okay, fried chicken is always delicious. Like, you can't go wrong with fried chicken. Okay, well, technically you can go wrong. There's a little shop on, that's, in a small town that's on my commute to work, that sells fried chicken, and if you eat it, you will hate chicken for the rest of your life. So avoid that little shop. But yes, fried chicken most of the time is one of nature's most perfect foods. So I hope that you enjoy it. I thought of what mother made me happy before, but I do know it made him happy, so that's good enough for me.
That's actually why I'm going to California. You know, for a music festival.
Ooh.
For real? Where?
Not far from Palm Springs.
Outstanding. It's in Rainier. Avoid it.
Palm Springs? Like the actual Palm Springs?
Don't know if there are any other Palm Springs in California, but yeah, they do it every year for a few weekends.
Nice.
I went to my first concert a little before I graduated.
You graduated? Impressive, Marina. She rests her head against that window and stares at the road ahead, her smile fading But still
It
there.
was so much fun. An entire weekend of that sounds super awesome.
Nah, it ain't that cool.
Marina flings her head away from the window and turns to me. Now she's staring at me like I'm crazy.
How could you even say that? It's the coolest thing ever! I wouldn't even be able to wait. I'd want to see all the bands.
I mean, that's what most people do at their first music festival.
Sheesh, relax. It's not like I'm taking it for granted. It's just that there's only one group I know I want to see so far.
Because I'm not like other girls, TM, and I'm obsessed with this one band. That's right, his favorite group.
Just one?
He was so excited when he got the tickets.
Just one that I'm excited for. I'll watch a bunch, though.
Releasing a long sigh, Marina eases back into her seat.
Oh, good. I was afraid you were going to head home after you saw your group.
Yeah, probably.
You crazy? I'd like to at least have a little fun before worrying about all the expenses I gotta deal with.
Aw,
Expenses?
damn it.
It's nothing.
She gasps.
Are you in debt? Is it college loans? My brother said those aren't fun to deal with at all.
No, I'm in debt to the mob. You see, my grandfather opened up an off-track betting parlor, and unfortunately there was this guy called Little Colrino. He came in and he bet big on the ponies, and we decided to take the bet. Unfortunately, he won. And now I have, about 8 months to pay him, or he's going to break my knees. Got too comfortable. Should have just kept my trap shut.
Or did you just spend too much on your
Without warning, I swerve off the side of the road and onto the rocky sand, cutting Marina off and nearly giving her a heart attack. Marina shoots me a worried glance, her face still pale.
Oh my god! What was that? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm just now very sleepy. I pinch the bridge of my nose and my elbows on the wheel.
Amber?
I've been driving all day. I'm a little tired.
Where are we?
Well, guessing by the mountains and the very hot dirt, New Mexico.
A little outside Albuquerque, so we aren't too far now.
Making
We'll
good
sleep
time.
here tonight and drive to Shiprock first thing in the morning.
Outstanding. Killing the ignition, I climb out of my seat and into the living quarters. Marina trails behind me. I yank open the bathroom's Velcro latched cupboards. Inside is a folded stack, with a blanket, sheet, pillow, and my old gym clothes from my school. I scoop them up and toss them to Marina. She scrambles to catch it, despite balancing them as they lean out of her arms.
Sorry about the clothes. I don't have any actual pajamas. You can sleep on the couch. It folds out into a bed.
Oh, okay.
Alright then, see you in the morning.
With that, I step into the back room and slam the sliding door before collapsing onto the oversized bed. Even in the darkness, I can make out the pictures hanging on the wall. Once upon a time, they were generic scenic pieces. Now they're photos. Photos of me and Gramps. My favorite is the one of us in front of a museum for music. Rock and roll, to be specific. I was just a little pipsqueak before then. Holding an autographed vinyl sleeve. Ooh. You have subscribed! Thank you! You don't have to do that, you're a sweetheart. Oh, sorry. Coughing out of thank you. You're an absolute love, thank you. You now have earned my eternal gratitude. We are now 40% through our goal. And you know what that means, people. Sukatako is better than all of you who are not subscribed. I kid, you're all welcome here and you're all lovely, and I'm heart all of your amazing faces. With that, that also reminds me, since there are people here, I'm going to go ahead and also put a copy of the link to my Discord, which I should have done earlier. But if you are interested in joining the community, hanging out with some cool people, come on in. It's where you can find my schedule more easily, and know when we're streaming. It's just a little pipsqueak back then. holding an Arborcraft vinyl sleeve that was half the size of my head. "You're in! Huzzah! Welcome!" He was by my side, squatting down and ruffling my hair as I gave the biggest smile I could, even with my missing teeth. I let out a sigh and fixated on the ceiling skylight, a small sliver of the moonlight shining through. "They're in! They're gonna know all our secrets!" Feels like an eternity since I've last laid down in this bed. I remember it felt like being hugged by a cloud. Now it feels like concrete. Tiny creaks sound from inside the door, from the room next door, accompanied by Marina's little squeaks of determination as she struggles with the fold-out bed, until finally I hear a loud thud. I can't help but smirk a little. I should have warned her that it was heavy. The room over rose silent. I hope it didn't crush her. Luckily, I soon hear footsteps tiptoeing across the carpet, then on the bathroom tile, then stop outside my door.
Are you awake?
I am now! Her voice is weak, barely above a whisper. It's almost impossible to hear as it's muffled through the
I
door.
know I've said it a lot already, but I really mean it. Thanks, Amber.
Aw.
Good night.
Good night, Marina. I continue to stay silent in the dark. The ceiling looks like it's constantly changing in size and dimension, sometimes getting bigger and further away, other times getting closer and smaller. That is hallucinations, and it comes from sleep deprivation, and is not fun. Yeah, sleep deprivation and hallucinations are entertaining. I remember when I was driving up to Alaska with a couple of members of my family, we were going up to help my uncle build his house. I'd been driving for about 12, maybe 14 hours, and I start seeing caterpillars on the dashboard. And I'm just like, hey, Grandpa, I need you to drive for a bit. Oh, why is that, Gnome? Because I'm pretty sure he didn't just release caterpillars in the cab of the truck. Funnily enough, he had, actually. He had released caterpillars in the cab of the truck. He was taking them up for my cousin to have for his science class. But we still decided, because I was, been driving for 14 hours, there was probably time for somebody else to do that. I have constant visual hallucinations. They're fun. Oh yeah, the caterpillars were 100% real. The flashes of, occasional trees, they weren't. Constant vision. Yes, hallucinations are entertaining. I look down through the crack under the door. I can see her shadow turning around to leave. The words slip out of my mouth before she can even take her first step.
Night, kiddo.
Mine used to be terrifying. I can imagine. Just like seeing things that only you can see has to be a little bit unnerving. Just get it after a few months. They kind of come and go. I getcha. Most people imagine Indian reservations as tucked away slices of heaven. Maybe some pocketed oasis of vibrant greens and flowing water, in what is otherwise a wasteland. No, anyone who knows anything about native reservations knows they're absolute nightmare zones. Those people are wrong. The Navajo Reservation is as sandy and barren as the rest of the desert, and at 22,475 miles, it's neither green nor fun-sized. Not that I hate it. The miles of faded highway road speed past me, blending together with sand that stretches out to far-off rigid mountains. Like there's a rhythm to it all. Yeah, native reservations are basically places that just, we didn't want, so we shoved native populations. Because we kind of decided outright killing everyone, probably not the best idea. Behind me, Marina still stretched out on the fold-out bed, cuddling a pillow, the substitute for her blanket that's long since fallen off her bed. My old gym clothes are a little small for her, the shorts only reaching halfway down her thighs. Ooh. But hey, I'm not complaining. Soon we're rolling into the town, its jagged namesake peeking over the horizon, Shiprock. In itself is typical for the desert. Nothing fancy like a high-rise, just a whole lot of plain shacks sitting on top of gravel, painted worn browns and beiges. From behind me, there's a light, almost fluffy yawn. Also, Shiprock has one of the best burger joints in New Mexico. Absolutely one of the best burger joints. I got one, their Monster Burger. It's like 8 patties in one on top of each other. And it was like a meatloaf. It was delicious. Came with a fried egg and green chili. Like, oh my god. Dude, now... Sorry, I apologize. But, like, burger wanting is like 95% of my, like... Of, like, my food desires, so... I've now infected you with my curse. Yeah, that sounded dirtier than I intended it. I wonder how that bundle of joy handles mornings.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, hi. You're finally awake.
Uh-huh.
She yawns again and thumps back against the bed. Guess she's not much of a morning person. Mornings are war crimes, invented by evil.
And there's still some coffee in the...
Oh, wow, is that Shiprock?
Jesus. Is your personality like 9... Your personality turned up to 11 like that? I take it back. Marina rushes behind me and grabs the back of the seats, her eyes sparkling.
It's huge! I can't believe we can see it from so far away!
On closer inspection, my clothes are way too tight for her. My poor shirt is being stretched to its limit. Of course, this doesn't seem to bother her at all. I don't know if I'm more embarrassed for myself or for her.
Well, we have to get moving now. So go get dressed or whatever.
Sure thing.
In the clothes that she wore all day yesterday, in the heat. She scampers off to the back, finally giving me room to breathe as I make my way to the driver's seat. Till I accidentally glance at the rear view mirror. Sure, accidentally, I'm sure. In the middle of the motorhome, Marina slips out of her pajamas and into her regular clothes. Jeez, the bathroom is right there, dear heart. I adjust the mirror and try my hardest to stay focused on anything else I can look at. Fully dressed, Marina pops back up beside me and settles in the passenger seat. The desolate road continues until suddenly, as if out of nowhere, we're greeted by a line of cars, RVs, buses, and every other kind of vehicle under the blazing sun, all lumped together, stacked one on top of the other, side by side, and every single one blasting their horns.
What the...
Whoa, you think this is because of the treasure?
Yes, I think this is because of the treasure. I grit my teeth and flop back in my seat. I can only pray there are tourists and I was the only one dumb enough to humor this scam. We're soon too assimilated into the traffic jam. Slowly, the motorhome inches forward, but when we finally reach the front, a whole new monster awaits us. Laid out on the dirt, barely in the shadow of the looming mountain, is a giant cluster that can only be described as such. Campers, tents, tops, booths, you name it. A chaotic horde of people crowd around the entire unorganized mess. I cringe at the very sight of it. I'm in hell. Marina pushes her face against the window in awe of the sheer insanity.
I don't think I've seen this many people since the concert.
What concert? Oh, yes. Oh, good. She's going to break from the overstimulation. A choir of horns serenade us from behind. Groaning, I pull forward and squeeze the motorhome into the nearest available space, stuffed tightly between everything else. Bracking out is going to be a real pain!
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go find that treasure!
Okay. Marina sits up and nearly leaps out of the car, but I grab her wrist and pull her back into her seat.
Just hold on a second.
Her enthusiasm fades.
Oh, that's right. You were only going to drop me off and leave.
Yes, that's the plan.
Sorry, but I'm gonna stick around a bit longer.
Aw.
For real?
Yes, I've accidentally adopted you. She starts sniffling.
You're so nice to me, Amber. I think I might cry.
Yes, feel indebted to me. Feel indebted.
Hold it in. We gotta think of a game plan first.
Okay.
Marina returns to her usual happy-go-lucky self, while I grimace at the chaos outside. If I suspend my disbelief and assume the treasure is real, where would we even start? We don't even have any equipment.
I guess we may as well start by checking out the place.
I'm the first to make my way out into the sea of people. My nose is assaulted with foul smells of campfires and B.O. masked in suntan lotion. Smells like tourist, all right. Marina finishes her run around the motorhome and huddles close to me, her eyes still wide with wonder, but far less gung-ho than before. The two of us make our way through the makeshift campground, following a guardrail that's been set up to separate the visitors from the rock. When I went to Sierra's Rock, I thought I'd get some mango biscuits. My friend Ben said, "Friend, mango biscuits, that's a con." Good news. All the while we pass different scenes, sword staring at all sorts of people. A news anchor elbowing nosy hecklers out of the way while she tries to report. Men on top of motorhomes and lawn chairs strumming away on guitars. Fried chicken tastes like heaven today. Damn good! That's damn good to hear. I raise my mug in salute. Even vendors have set up shops here, selling over-ripened fruit from their booths. Marina is speechless, looking on in overwhelmed curiosity, and hovering so close I keep tripping over her. I'm half expecting her to grab onto one of my belt loops. Okay, so it's not a New Mexico gathering if there's not a bunch of people selling tamales. And those tamales will be covered in red, green, or Christmas chili. Christmas chili, of course, being red and green chilies mixed together. It's actually illegal to eat food in New Mexico that's not covered in chili. It's not a real law, it just feels like that. And I've therefore, after spending many years there, become completely fucking addicted to it. I'm surprised I pegged her to be pretty good with crowds.
Please stay behind the guardrail! I repeat, please stay behind the guardrail!
You're not my real dad! A booming voice shouts over the crackling of a megaphone, pushing through the crowd. We're shoved into a part of the crowd that's mobbing by an opening in the guardrail. Same here! That scared me as well. They're barred from advancing by a lone man, standing on top of a folding chair, and clutching his megaphone like a shotgun.
Stay behind the guardrail! Please be considerate of Navajo land!
I mean, we're American citizens, so we're not going to.
What's going on?
Not sure. I think.
The sun reflects off of the truck behind it. I squint my eyes at the word printed on its side. Navajo Parks and Recreation.
It's the man?
Yes, the man!
The man?
Never mind.
You know, the constabulatory. The relentless crowd ignores him, ramming into each other as they fling whole dictionaries worth of profanity at him.
This could get nasty.
Yeah, if we're talking Navajo cops, it's gonna get... They tend to, after a while, not treat idiot white people with kid gloves after a minute.
Maybe they're moshing. People did that at the concert.
Marina, how do you function?
Just what the hell kind of concert did you go to anyway? Wait a second.
In the back of the mosh, distinct from the Calamity is a familiar sight. Blonde hair intertwined and running through a dark red bandana.
What's wrong?
Oh, it's the girl who's allergic to shirt.
Remember that loud chick from the gas station?
A little. I was too busy with my slushie to really notice.
Most things.
Why?
I think we just found our first lead.
My voice trails off and I start towards the girl, pushing my way through the crowd.
Hey, Amber! Wait!
Putting on my person mask, I take a deep breath and place my hand on on her shoulder with a forced smile.
For the last time, old man, I don't have any!
Have any buttons? Yes, we see. She whips around, her eyes prepped for murder. But her features switch to standby mode as she realizes her mistake, for she is an android.
Oh.
Sorry, but didn't I see you at that convenience store yesterday?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that dump. Outside of Roswell, right?
Yep, that was us. I'm Amber. The other girl is Marina.
Marina waves and I extend my hand. The girl's eyes narrow, but she eventually shakes it with a surprisingly strong grip.
Mariah.
Everyone here for the treasure?
Probably.
They'd be idiots if they weren't.
I mean, the treasure probably isn't real.
Hey, what
It's
do
gonna
you
be the
know?
friends we made along
You
the
were
way.
right, Amber.
You say that like it's a good thing.
Oh! Bird just impacted my window. I hope it's okay. Okay, it doesn't seem to be lying outside the window. It just seems to be... Okay. Yeah, it looks like it was trying to buzz the other hummingbirds away from the feeder and overshot. Poor little thing. Doesn't look stunned, so it should be okay.
You guys here for the gold too? Not sure why else somebody would come out.
Well, you see, I adopted this idiot, and so I'm on an adventure now. She looks over the scenery and wrinkles her nose.
To this place.
Hey, Shiprock is a lovely place to visit.
The ray of sunshine next to me is looking for the gold. I'm just the ride.
Step away from the guardrail! You're all getting out of hand!
I'm not near the guardrail, sir. The horde presses in. The yelling grows louder.
You aren't getting through, so I don't even know why.
A can of beer flies through the air and cracks him on the forehead, the liquid running down his face. It does. Although, to be fair, I don't blame Navajo Parks employees having to deal with angry white people from getting loud and kind of aggressive, because it's the only language a bunch of treasure hunters would probably understand.
Come on!
Yeah, come on, sir.
Navajo Parks and Recreation. They are trying to keep well-meaning treasure hunters from carving up the rock because of its religious significance.
Yeah, we've already kind of screwed over the Navajo a lot, and pretty much every tribe in this blasted country.
Doesn't surprise me. This is a four-corner state, so there's lots of stuff like that out here.
I think it's sweet that they're trying to protect big ol' Shippy.
Big ol' Shippy? Oh god, you are a kitten in human form. Mariah stares at her as if questioning her entire existence.
But it's a rock.
It is indeed a rock.
So?
And 4 grandfathers was just a mountain that we desecrated completely. We don't have a good track record in this country. We're kind of assholes.
It's only good for postcards and carving big monuments. Why is it such a big deal if people want to look for treasure up there?
I mean, it's a cultural piece of significance. I mean, you wouldn't want to, Never mind.
Well, it's not gonna make much of a difference either way.
Why's that? You a non-believer?
Pretty much, yeah.
No, I'm just not a sucker.
That's not very nice, Amber.
She's not very nice at all, so being mean to her is therefore me being nice to the rest of the world, and to me.
Well, it's true. It's obvious that this is just an elaborate scam and everyone got ripped off.
I think more that the tourism board put something out, and now it's worked a little too well. But I finished my sentence. Before I finish my sentence, a cocky, overgrown smile makes its way over Mariah's face, oozing with snide confidence.
What if I told you I could prove the treasure is real?
Also, I think there's a little bit of a mistake. There's a little bit of a mistake here in making her name Mariah and her name Marina. Like, it feels like it rolls like an egg, having 2 names that are 2 syllables that both start with M. Yeah, it seems it's a really bad idea for your skin, especially in a dry heat like New Mexico, where the heat mostly comes from the fact that it's elevated, so you are getting more UV radiation. So she's gonna burn like nobody's business, especially with how pale she is.
I'd say you're full of it.
Does that mean the treasure's real? Like, honest to goodness real?
Overwhelmed with excitement, Marina springs up and down, all while giving Mariah gives a smug nod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Oh, ye of little faith. I said I could prove it, didn't I?
Can you?
And how exactly are you gonna do that?
Come back to my base full of highly trained elite treasure hunters. Then I'll show you.
Will your base have food?
Elite what now?
It's gonna be dogs.
Highly trained, elite treasure hunters.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks, but no thanks. We'll pass.
What? But why?
Because she's probably some kind of, like, terrifying killer.
Well, because...
You said we needed a game plan, right? This is the best chance we have right now.
A terrifying amount of determination emanates from her as she forces an unwavering stare on me. Her gaze intensifies. I look down at my dusty shoes and finally give in.
Jeez, if it'll make you that happy, I'll do it.
Yay!
Hooray! She's really damn determined. I'll give her that much. I'm not sure I could have said no.
But this better be legit, you hear?
It's not. I point to Mariah.
I'm not in the mood to be jerked around today.
Yeah, I'll keep my word.
Hey! Stop it!
No! We look back to the crowd. The guardrails have toppled over, and the crowd surges towards the
I'm
man.
warning you! Stay back! I have a megaphone!
Yes, you do. But if you're also Navajo Parks and Rec, you probably also have a shotgun and beanbag rounds. The crowd circles in around the chair and topples it over, the man crashing down with it.
We should probably scram.
Yeah, that's going to be a good plan. There's going to be
ahead of you.
There's going to be a very violent reaction by the Navajo Parks and Rec, and probably the Navajo Police. Sleek and lavish, Mariah's motorhome is like a mansion on wheels. Its chromy black paint is so fresh that you can practically smell the primer.
Here we are. Base, sweet base.
Ooh. She throws the door open.
Joe, Tess, buck up, we have guests.
They're gonna be dogs. Marina and I shoot each other an unsure glance, then enter the motorhome.
Oh, hey.
Oh, they are not
Finally
dogs.
managed to make some friends.
So you do know somebody who owns a shirt. Good. I was worried that I'd have to give you one of mine.
Blow it out your ass, slacker.
It's just as big and expansive on the inside, making my RV look like a toilet in comparison. It's definitely a luxury class, unlike my Class C. Or at least it would be a luxury motorhome, if not for the seemingly random decor. The wall is littered with posters of ska bands, the worst genre of music. Hey, there's no need to be so truthful. Even weirder are the license plates scattered everywhere, some in boxes, some on the table, and some strung together like a wind chime. A beanbag in the corner, and bottles of empty beer and liquor cast off in the ground. The place looks more like a frat pad than a base. An impression further aided by the guy sprawled out on the couch, his head wrapped in a bandana like Mariah's.
Someone's feisty today. No luck with the treasure, I take it?
Yeah, no thanks to you.
Hey now, me and Tess were holding down the fort. That's a very important job.
Darn right it is. He gestures at the cot above him, a hollow space under some cabinets. It looks like a row of cupboards, used to be there and was stripped out to make room for it. Lying on top of it is a little girl facing the other direction, fiddling with something I can't make out. She's wearing another identical bandana.
Isn't that right, Tess?
Marina and I shoot each other, darn right. Tess gives a barely existent nod and continues tinkering, and Tess looks the same age as all three of you.
See, what did I tell you?
Has she been like this the entire time?
Yes.
Yep. She hasn't moved since you left this morning. It's kind of sad.
Aw.
Please. Don't think I haven't noticed you were on that couch when I left.
Guilty as charged.
Look, I just took a whole bunch of mescaline, so I'm gonna be chasing a few things in my dreams for a bit. Clear my throat, reminding them of our presence.
Oh, right. This is my team.
Good.
The lug who's become one with the couch is Joseph, and the squirt is my kid sister Tess.
I took her out of school to go on treasure hunting adventures with me. Because, you know, who needs school when you can get wealthy in a luxury RV?
Joe, Tess, this is Alyssa and Melina.
Amber, actually.
Amber and Marina.
Whatever.
No, we have names. Use them.
They're looking for the treasure too.
So, you've taken us here to, like, I don't know, bury our bodies in the desert?
Hey there, ladies.
I can only hope the highly trained elite team are hidden in the bathroom.
Hey, I'm Marina. It's really nice to meet you.
Hey, Marina, they're professional treasure hunters. If we're also looking for the treasure, we're what's considered rivals. And they have the luxury motor. They're the villains. They're going to kill us and bury us in the desert. We're tonight's dinner. Marina jumps in front of me, taking hold of the conversation by its throat.
The other girl is Amber. Say hi, Amber.
No.
Hi.
Don't mind her. She's just grumpy.
All the time.
I'm not grumpy.
You sound pretty grumpy to me.
It's because I'm not grumpy, I'm mercurial. There's a difference. I groan and start muttering nonsense under my breath. Don't think being a realist would make me grumpy.
She doesn't think the treasure exists.
No, I don't.
Uh-oh, Mariah, we've got a non-believer in our midst.
I'm not grumpy, I'm just a prick, right? Why do they keep saying that?
Why do you think I brought her here?
If you think you'll be able to convince me that this treasure is real, then fine. But you have another thing coming.
Come on, where's your sense of adventure?
In California?
Back in my motorhome. We can take you and your sense of adventure back to Carlsbad if you want.
You know what we could do is we could give the kitten in human form to these people, and then we could head to the concert.
No thanks.
Carlsbad? California?
Why do people keep thinking the Carlsbad in California?
New Mexico.
Rolling her eyes, Mariah walks over to a drawer. From inside, she pulls out something wrapped in cloth and brings it over to me.
Go ahead. Take a peek.
Happily. Her smirk reappears, curling across her face, as if this was a game and there's no way she could lose. Hesitant, I bring my hand to the rag and unwrap it.
What? No way. Is this?
That's right.
Lying swaddled in the cloth is a yellow nugget. I give it a squeeze. It's soft, definitely not a piece of pyrite. And also, you're not gonna find a nugget of pure gold. Like, that's just not how you find gold.
It's gold!
But how?
You know the miner who hid the treasure? That's Joseph's great-great-uncle.
Hey, Joseph, why did your family give the journal to the media
You're
then?
lying.
I can testify for that. It's true.
This thing is a family heirloom.
Okay.
More like it was lying forgotten in my basement until we stumbled across it as kids.
After that, I heard great tales of the miner and his hidden treasure.
She went to the library and found old newspaper clippings making fun of him.
Fair enough.
Then, I made it my life's goal to find his treasure.
She's been obsessed with it ever since.
Delightful.
Help.
I mean, Joseph, it sounds like you adopted your own cat in human form.
That's a load. I saw you at the store yesterday. If you knew so much about the treasure, then why did you have to buy one of those journals?
Another side of my family probably got the journal after he kicked it. We didn't hear about it until everyone else did.
Fair enough.
This doesn't prove anything.
Mariah shoots me a scowl, similar to the look she gave the cloak yesterday.
What are you trying to say?
You're a crazy person, and if you have like a large nugget of gold, you've already won. Sell it and move on.
Sis,
Tess finally moves, hopping down from her cot. Another license plate wind chime in her hand, the plates clacking together as she runs over to Mariah.
I finished it.
Aw. She says this without a hint of emotion, her eyes in a constant half-open state. It's kind of unsettling.
How many is that now? 44?
45.
Marina bends down to Tess's level and greets her.
Oh, are you collecting license plates?
How are you collecting license plates?
Uh-huh.
I only have 5 more until I have all 50 states.
Are you just going up to cars and, like, taking them off them? Yeah, it's kind of aggressively illegal.
And what state do you have there?
New Mexico.
Her voice and expression don't change, still as dry as the desert air. Mariah scoffs.
At least yesterday wasn't a complete waste of time. That junker was a piece of crap.
Wait a second.
All the parts were rustier than my ass. Even the scrap metal wasn't worth it.
You were the ones who took the car,
Just
weren't
be
you?
thankful we found it. We'd be busted if I hadn't salvaged the good bits. Besides, that money is going to keep us from starving.
You stole and scavenged her car. Delightful. I look at Marina, but she doesn't seem to have put it together.
About that car you found. That wasn't outside Roswell, was it?
Oh my. This plot just got spicy. Marina's eyes go wide, realization finally penetrating her skull.
Yeah, not too far from the store. What do you care?
That was Marina's car. I can feel my blood begin to boil. Marina can feel it too.
Amber?
Amber smash? Amber smash. Every part of me is shaking. I struggle to spit out the words.
Her car was stolen outside of Roswell yesterday. It was out of gas, so we went to get some.
Joseph is the next to realize it, followed by Tess.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, oh crap, Grand Theft Auto!
So?
I can't hold it in anymore. Sorry, Marina.
So? You stole her car and dismantled it!
Joseph jumps off the couch and apologetically bows repeatedly, all in one swift motion. Each bow makes me a little bit angrier. Please, yeah, punch! Punch, Amber smash!
Joey said it was okay.
Joey is dumb.
I thought it was. Mariah gave the go-ahead.
You told them it was alright?
Yeah, so? It's your own fault for leaving it out there.
Can you give her wallet and phone back then?
How? How on earth is it our fault that it broke down?
You know. Finders, keepers.
You know, the funny thing is, we can go ask the cops who are out there right now. Because if you took her car, you have her phone and wallet. So we're just gonna go talk to the cops, and they'll take a look around here, because I'm sure that that's not the only car you found. And we're going to all have them talk with you, or you can give me that nugget of gold. And I can fuck off, and this problem can go away. Those are the two options.
It's a freaking car!
Tess tugs on my shirt.
What?
I don't mean to, but the word snaps out of my mouth. The tiny girl shrinks away. Alright, Amber, just calm down. We can talk this out.
Here.
She holds out the wind chime made of Marina's license plate, her eyes cast downward.
You can have it.
That's not all I can have. I'm taking that gold. And my girl's wallet, and my girl's phone. And my girl's keys. Because likely, those have some kind of sentimental significance to her because it was her brother's car. And I'm punching all of you. Never mind, calming down isn't gonna happen. A hand grabs my shoulder. I turn to Marina. Yeah, and I'm suing, 100%. She shakes her head and
Amber,
smiles.
it's okay.
No, it's not okay. They took apart and stripped a car. That's aggressively criminal.
But...
Really, it's fine.
No, it's not. It was your brother's car. She bends back down to Tess and smiles reassuringly.
You can go ahead and keep it, sweetie.
Don't be nice to the child thief. The trio, Mariah included, are taken aback by Maria's saint-like reaction.
Don't worry, guys. It's fine.
No, it's not. Marina, go wait outside, sweetie. Go look at the pretty butterflies. Joseph breathes a sigh of relief.
Oh, God. Thank you so much. We're all really sorry about this. Right, Mariah?
Yeah, I guess.
About as fed up with this as I am, Joseph shoots her a glare and smacks her on the back of the head.
Ow! Alright, I'm sorry and stuff.
Marina, are you sure? They destroyed your car.
And took your wallet.
Yeah, but it was pretty run down anyway.
You're unreal, you know that? Anyway, we should head out now. We have a few things to take care of.
Get your wallet back from them.
Thanks for showing us the gold. Now I'm sure the treasure's real.
No problem, ladies. Again, really sorry for all the trouble. If there's anything we can do for you, just give us a shout.
Give her wallet back?
Sure thing.
We head for the door, but Marina turns around before stepping outside.
By the way, was there a phone in the car?
The pink case, eh?
Yeah, that's the one.
They sold it.
We kind of sold that too.
How do you find a car with and think this must a newer phone with a wallet in a car, and they're like, oh, I'm sure this will be fun to just take apart. Let's sell everything. It feels like the page is staring back at me. In fact, at this point, it probably is. My gaze drifts from the journal to the window by the entrance. Marina is outside, twirling the payphone's cord as she pops in another quarter. She bites her lips and looks through the window. Our eyes meet. She sends me a small, anxious wave. Closing the book, I let out a yawn and remove my head from my fist. I'm sure there's a red imprint on my cheek. Like, these people are too dumb to live. I figured out we had to get to Shiprock. Figuring out we had to get to Shiprock was the easy part. Everything else has been a gigantic pain in the ass. There's a rush of precious cold air getting sucked from the building. Marina enters, carefully shutting the door and taking the seat opposite me in the booth.
So how'd it go?
It went fine, I guess.
Your parents are okay with all of this?
No, not at all.
Maybe not okay.
A smile creeps onto her face.
But they understand.
At least someone gets it, because I still don't.
They weren't happy about the car, though.
No, why should they be?
I think you were the only person who was.
How couldn't I be? Mariah showed us that the treasure is real.
Mariah also stripped your biggest asset and sold your phone and didn't give you your wallet back.
You're going to believe the people who stole your car?
It was an accident. They didn't mean to.
Oh, they meant to. They meant to do it. They found a car, assumed it was, just decided it was abandoned, stripped it of everything that they could find valuable, and fucked off. How many people have they left how many parked cars have they found? How many parked cars have they found and been like, oh, this must be abandoned, that's sitting outside someone's goddamn house? My car's in my driveway. Are they going to be driving past my house and go, oh, look, that car obviously is abandoned. It's just sitting in a driveway. We should strip it for parts.
Besides, they're nice.
No, they're not. Before I can argue further, our waitress emerges from the kitchen, carrying our order, a hot black coffee for me, a milkshake for Marina, and a large order of fries for us both. Marina's eyes brighten at the sight of the shake. Like with the slushy, her sweet tooth takes control of her, and she practically starts drooling over the glass. With a nod, the waitress disappears back into the kitchen.
Thanks for the food, by the way.
You're welcome.
Well, it's not like I really had a choice. I could hear your stomach from the driver's seat. I wasn't about to let you starve to death on my watch.
After all, you have to feed the animals that you accidentally adopt.
Plus, I was getting pretty hungry too.
Amazingly, Marina didn't freak out at the sight of the diner, like she has at everything else so far. I was genuinely shocked when I didn't hear a gasp of awe escape her mouth as we pulled up.
Hey, Amber, why don't you get a shake too? Coffee and fries don't really go together, don't you think?
Oh, they aggressively do. Coffee is the greatest of all human beverages. It goes with everything. I am such an addict of coffee. I have taken coffee. I've made a cup of coffee to relax in the late evening. That could be a like a warning sign of ADHD, but
I'm fine. I don't really like sweet things.
I'm not like other girls, TM.
But it's super good! Especially when you dip your fries in it.
She takes several of the fries and does just that, dipping them in the shake like it was ketchup or mustard.
That's silly. I can do the same thing with my coffee.
Don't do the same thing with your coffee. Taking a fry, I dunk it into my coffee and take a bite out of it. Now there's salt in your coffee. That was a bad idea. Grimacing, I place the rest of the fry on my napkin as I try to cope with the cold chill and sulfury aftertaste.
Maybe it would work better if you put creamer in it?
Do not put things in coffee that is not coffee. I hate when somebody ruins a perfectly good cup of Costa Rica.
Somehow I doubt that. Besides, it would just ruin the coffee.
Thank you, Amber.
I don't know how you can even drink it without cream, or at least a little sugar. It's so bitter.
That's because you're used to drinking terrible beans. Like, people who drink, people who have only drank coffee with cream and sugar are people who have not tasted good beans. They're like people who get, skirt steak and insist that all steak is tough and terrible. Or only eat McDonald's hamburgers and insist that hamburgers are disgusting. Like, if you get the good stuff, you don't need all the additives. You can just do the simple, beautiful, simple version. Right now, I'm drinking a beautiful roast from Nicaragua, and it is delicious.
It's an acquired taste. You find flavor in the bitterness.
Or you just get good beans.
That's why I think it's weird that you drink something like that.
Do not judge me. I am not like other girls, TM. There we are. Alright.
How do you mean?
I don't know.
Her brow furrows in deep
You
thought.
always seem so yes or no about stuff.
Yes, I've spent a lot of time figuring myself out.
If you like something, then you do. If you don't like something, then you don't.
Do not psychoanalyze me, Marina.
You're losing me, Mare.
What did Mom used to tell us when we didn't listen to her?
How would I know?
Oh, yeah. Basically, you have a really thick head, Amber.
Them's their fighting words, girly. I nearly spit the coffee out of my mouth.
Gee, thanks.
Or was it a thick skull?
Probably one or the other.
Whatever. You know what I mean, right?
No, not at all.
I think
Hardly
so.
ever.
Maybe. It wasn't really an acquired taste for me now that I think about it. Maybe I've always liked the bitterness.
Or maybe I just convinced myself that I did. I don't know.
Is that a bad thing?
Just like in Mariah's RV, Marina shakes her head and gives me a sweet, genuine
I
smile.
don't think so. I actually really like it. It reminds me of Shiprock.
Oh god, are you gonna be my manic pixie dream girl? Warm, tickling sensation bubbles up in my chest. It forces me to smile, but I play it off all cool and breezy like.
So I remind you of a rock. You shouldn't say that kind of thing. People might think they're insults.
Satisfied with how I played that off, I reach for a fry to reward myself, but instead of hot, crispy goodness, something smooth brushes against my fingertips. I gaze down at the plate of fries. Marina's hand, for a split second, rests below mine! We instinctively snap back. Marina's face is a bright shade of pink, and mine is probably similar.
Sorry.
Hand-holding? For shame, girls. For shame. This is a Catholic area. The room feels 10 degrees hotter. We try to re-establish eye contact, but our glances shoot off in other directions as soon as we meet.
Hey, Amber?
Are you going to reveal the secret of how you're so pale after living in Carlsbad for your entire life? I managed to compose myself long enough to look back.
You said something about bills and expenses last night, right?
Yes?
I don't know what exactly you meant by that, or what it is you have to pay off. But since we know the treasure is real now, I was wondering,
Yes?
maybe you might think about sticking around to look with me? We could even split it, or something.
Yes, split it in that I get 80, you get 20.
Well, first off, we don't even know if the treasure is actually real. Mariah could be pulling our legs.
Probably is. My coffee is mostly gone. All that's left is a puddle and a few stray grounds.
I'll think about it, though.
I mean, she's kind of like a cheerleader. Like, she's just kind of there.
Really?
I only said I would think about it. Don't get too excited just yet.
I won't. I just think it would be super cool.
What we'll do is we'll get the treasure, we'll put it in a bag, and we will then give her a shiny mirror to play with. We will then take that bag to our RV and drive away. Who's she gonna call? Marina flops her chin down and rests on the table.
How's it going anyway? Have you figured out where the first part of the treasure might be?
Probably in somebody else's pocket.
No luck. It's not like the guy drew a map or anything. He just jotted down details about the places he went to.
Because the real treasure will be friendship. And probably dating. That and Rambling Matawasami was.
Do you think Mariah was right, and he hid it on top of old Shippy?
Probably not. I wouldn't have had it hidden it on top of the ship. On top of Shiprock. I would probably have hidden it nearby. Probably in somewhere a little out of the way.
Don't listen to Mariah, okay? She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Ever.
Think about it. How would he even scale the mountain? He was traveling solo on horseback. I doubt he would have the tools to do it. And even if he did, I'm pretty sure he would have gone on and on about it in his journal.
More than likely. With a puppy dog whine, Marina frowns.
Are you sure he didn't mention anything else? Maybe something we didn't catch?
I slide the book across the table and over the leftover crumbs, stretching out my stiff joints as I rest against the booth.
Take a look if you want. My eyes are gonna start bleeding if I read it again. The only things he really mentioned are the rocks and the dikes around it.
Oh.
Marina forces herself to stare down at the plate, the blush from earlier reappearing. Oh? Oh.
No, not like that.
Oh, god damn it! I stifle a giggle. Teasing her is going to be a blast.
I mean the rocks that branch out from the mountain. That's what they're called. Huh.
It's so simple, but it makes sense. I shoot up and down, throws down some money. Marina jumps at the sound of the table rattling.
What's the matter? Did you figure out where it is?
Yes!
Maybe. At least a general area.
I march towards the door. The table rattles again as Marina leaps up. She stays behind to straighten out before scrambling up to catch up with me.
We're going now?
Yes, indeed.
Hell no. We don't have any equipment. But we know someone who does.
Someone who owes us favors. I shove the door open, the last bastion between refreshing air and the burning dry heat. So it's about 7:30, which means we have about a half hour until 8. And then at 8 we're going to be raiding out, because I have to get ready for work.
Come on. Let's go cash in a favor.
It sure was nice for Mariah and her friends to let us use some of their equipment.
Yes, nice, and definitely not a result of a guilty conscience.
Only after that Joseph guy begged her to.
Yeah, because Joseph knows that we could still report them to the police. I pause to look around. We decide to wait until nightfall to go look around some more. It's like an entirely different world the further you get from the insanity. quiet and calm. The only lights are the stars and faint glow of the campground, the campers and motorhomes flickering in the distance. That's one thing I really do miss about living in New Mexico, is that because there wasn't as much street light, there was you could just look up and see the night sky, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. Marina fiddles with the metal detector's headphones, removing them halfway.
Sorry, the beeping's loud. What was that?
The beeping's loud!
Forget it. I'm not playing that game. Just keep listening.
Oh!
Did you find something?
Probably.
I think so. It's over here.
Delightful. I set aside my shovel and throw myself to the ground, clawing at the sand. A shiny speck sticks out of the ground. Frantically, I take it up.
Is it the gold?
It's...
I scrape harder.
It's...
Harder. Finally, I unearth it and hold it up to the starlight.
Soda tab.
Yeah.
Damn it! This is the 5th one!
If we find any more, we could start making a curtain out of them.
Always the optimist, Marina. Always the optimist.
Maybe we should call it a night. I'm sure we can find it once we're fresh in the morning.
Nah, that's no good. We can only do it now because Parks and Recreation isn't paying as much attention.
Though even now, someone's still guarding the area near the campground. The rocks give us some cover, so I don't think we'll be spotted, but we still need to be careful.
We'll keep looking for a little while. If we can't find anything, we might want to assume the worst.
Her face wrenches with hopelessness.
Somebody else found it?
That it doesn't exist! Jeez, it's like you've never even considered that it might not be real.
It probably isn't.
But Mariah...
Mariah's a lunatic.
Yeah, I know.
I grab my shovel and swing it back over my shoulder. As we walk, we stay as close to the mountain range as possible.
Why are you so gung-ho about this thing anyway? If you're just in it for the cash, there are better ways to make money than dragging yourself around the desert.
Not really. Carlsbad doesn't really have a lot of job opportunities. I mean, you could probably find something by moving up to Albuquerque, or even just Santa Fe or Vegas, but still not a whole lot.
Oh no, it's nothing like that. It's just...
Her voice trails off. It hangs over us, never fully evaporating into the cool night air.
It's okay. Don't feel like you have to tell me.
We both have things we don't want to talk about. That's becoming very clear. At least Marina doesn't swerve off the road so she can go pout. I just don't want to think about it. All I've been doing for the last month is thinking about it. I almost wish my brain would quit working so I wouldn't have to. So naturally, I take a long, lonely trip with nothing to do except think.
Amber, it's happening again!
What, did you have a thought? Marina stops, hands quivering as she tightens her grip.
I swear, if this is another soda tab...
I don't think it is. The beeping is really loud, and it's vibrating a lot.
Ooh.
Wait, it's vibrating?
Uh-huh. It feels weird.
Oh my. Ooh-woo. The metal detector hovers over the ground between the rock and sand. I thrust my shovel into the spot, the metal scraping against the edge of the dike. Planting my foot on the shovel's head, I dive it further into the ground, using every ounce of my strength to dig. The first load of dirt and sand unclenches from the ground, loosening the earth around it. I throw the load aside and repeat the process. Each time it's a little easier, a little lighter. Oh, of course. We might have found something. We found somebody. They had found our stash, and now we're burying their body. Finally, the shovel strikes something hard, sending a shocking vibration
Bedrock?
through my body.
I haven't dug that deep.
Dropping to my knees, I reach my hands into the hole and brush off the remaining dirt. Marina leans in. The sound of her anxiously swallowing is barely audible over my heavy breathing. My fingers brush against something. I gulp and pull out the hole's contents, a small, rotting wood box. My heart stops. Trembling, I open the box, the leftover dirt falling into my lap. Gold!
It exists? It exists?
It exists!
Yay, gold! Marina yells at the top of her lungs, a yell so loud it bounces off the mountain, echoing off the horizon and then back again. Marina has been unleashed!
Shh, not so loud. They might hear us.
She lowers her voice to an excited whisper, channeling her energy into bouncing up and down.
But it exists! I told you it did.
She's right, and despite being proven wrong, I can't help but smile. Here I thought I was going to be some plastic treasure chest with a coupon for chocolate milk inside or something, equally shameless and corporate. It was going to tell us to remember to drink our Ovaltine.
Amber!
My only warning is a quick gust of wind. Before I even have a chance to brace for it, I'm engulfed by Marina at her hug.
What?
It's real! I told you it was! I told you!
You were right, dear heart. I stop for a second, then smile.
Yeah, you were right. It's real.
Should we tell someone? What do we even do now?
Fuck no, we shouldn't tell anyone.
Honestly, I'm not sure.
We should go sell this gold.
It's getting pretty late, though. Let's pack it up for the night. We can think about what to do in the morning.
For now, we can just marvel at the fact that it's not bogus.
Sound like a plan?
It does, but...
She takes a deep, long breath, inhaling all the air around, and maybe even some of mine, then releasing it all at once.
It's actually really real!
Stop screaming, people are going to find out, and we are both like 65 pounds. And you give things away for free without worrying about consequences. Like somebody could come with like a shovel and hit us and take it.
Marina, quiet! They're gonna hear us.
Oh, Marina, you're gonna get me killed. You're gonna get me killed. A thunderous banging wakes me from a dead sleep, rattling the entire motorhome.
I know you two are in there. You thieves better not still be sleeping.
Thieves! You stole a car, bitch! The muffled shot links in from outside, followed by another voice.
Yes, it's not even 7. Can I go back to bed?
And another voice.
You're better off just rolling with it. For her, it may as well be noon.
Open up, or I swear Joe's gonna bust down the store.
Then we have every right to stab Joe.
Wait, what?
Oh, Joe. I am in this game and I feel called out. Basically, the reason I'm starting to identify with Joe, I was raised by Mama Pickles, who is a very, very ambitious, wonderfully brilliant woman. And my grandmother was the same way. Just absolutely hard-charging, brilliant people who are very confident and very sure of themselves. So basically, my brain is conditioned that when a woman says something in a confident voice, my brain just goes, do it. Like, a woman could walk into my house right now and be like, Gnome, I need you to start loading all of your belongings onto my truck. And I'd be like, okay, totally. And she would be several miles down the road with all of my valuables before my brain started to kick in and say, I've been robbed. Like, this is a problem. Because brain just said, oh, woman said do a thing. I do a thing because woman said. Because usually when they would tell me to do a thing, it was the smart thing to do and it would go well. Gee, I wonder who this could be. I roll out of bed and open the slider connecting to the other rooms. Marina is sitting pressed up against the back of the fold-out bed with sheets over her head.
Who do you think it is?
We know exactly who it is.
Take a wild guess.
And it's not Santa. I march over and throw open the door. As expected, my 3 favorite people stand before me.
It's about time. Do you have any idea how long we've been out here?
Yeah, long enough to remember that you stole my friend's car? A groggy Tess waves side to side. Joseph's gentle hands are the only thing preventing her from passing out on the ground.
It's funny that you, of all people, would accuse us of theft.
Yeah, thank you, Amber.
What else would you call what happened to my equipment?
I don't know. Borrowing? You loaned it to us, remember?
Correction. Joe loaned it to you.
Yeah, Joe, who probably paid for everything. Because I have a feeling you don't plan things well. Joseph gives a tired smirk and wave.
I was forced to sit idly by and watch you make off with it. That's theft if I ever seen it.
That's because you're dumb, Mariah. She pushes me aside and clambers into the motorhome. Guess the knowledge that Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was released 19 years ago. Why would you do such a thing, Majora? Why would you be so cruel? By the by, welcome. We're happy to have you.
Looks like we're coming in.
Oh, God, this motorhome is barely big enough for 2 people.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tess. You and Joseph are the only people of your party I don't instinctively hate.
Hey, you 3. Morning. How are you guys doing?
Basically, I kind of hate Mariah on a cellular level. Premiered on Cartoon Network 21 years ago today. Ugh.
Tired. For what it's worth, we tried stopping her.
Does that mean that the Teen Titans are like 37 now? Because I have to imagine they'd be like 16 in that show. And at least like Robin was probably 16. That means he's 37 now. Neat. Mariah storms to the middle of the motorhome, analyzing everything before releasing a loud scoff.
So where's my stuff?
If you don't get out of my RV in 5 seconds, it'll be shoved up your ass.
Don't worry about it. You guys are great. Hey, Tess. Did you hang up your new wind chime?
Tess's eyes flicker with interest for all of a second, then return to their obstinate, droopy state.
Above my bed.
Lovely.
What's up with the fold-out? You 2 don't sleep together?
What?
What?
Told ya.
Damn it.
Grumbling, Mariah pulls a bill from her pocket and slaps it in Joe's hand. Were they betting that we were lesbians?
Does that mean we get to sleep in tomorrow morning?
Sure does, kiddo. Sure does.
The ringleader of the circus returns to inspecting the motorhome, fiddling with the magnets on the
Anyway,
fridge.
give me back my equipment and we'll get out of your hair.
Come on, just let them use it. It's the least we can do after tearing apart her car.
Thank you, Joseph. That's a reasonable statement. Mariah's attention turns toward the counter topped with the opened box of stunning gold nuggets from the night before.
And whose fault was that? What is this?
Our gold.
What is what?
The thing on the counter? It almost looks like...
Yeah, it looks like Amber and Marina's gold.
Oh, that? That's the piece of the treasure we found.
Ha! Yeah, right! You're kidding.
She chuckles. She stops.
She's kidding, right?
Nope. I have a devious thought and crack an equally devious smile.
Nope. She's telling the truth. 100%.
I wrap my arm around Mariah and bring her close. Joseph and Tess shoot each other alarmed glances.
We found it last night. With your equipment.
She stands there, stupefied.
No! That's impossible. You're lying.
Really now? Hey, Marina, why don't you tell her about it?
Sure thing!
Why are we telling them? They are going to kill us and take it.
It started yesterday after we met. Amber looked at the journal again and thought it might be near the smaller rocks behind the bigger one. They're called dikes, I think.
You're right.
Anyway, turns out she was right!
Have a nice night. It was lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope to see you next stream or in one of our future streams. You are always welcome. Bye. Love to see you again, Tsukioto, or Tsuki Taco. I can't pronounce your name. If you could send me a pronunciation guide, I'd appreciate it. Mariah looks down, muttering to herself.
How? Why wouldn't he just hide it on the mountain? It doesn't make sense. If he was going back to the story...
Okay. Like Japanese Sugoyo? Okay. But koi like the fish. Tsukio Toko? I'm gonna call you new friend, because I'm bad at this. But I will try. I will practice. Sugio Just Sugio. Sukokoi. Okay, thank you. You have a lovely name. I'm sorry I'm doing you the disrespect of mispronouncing it. Tsukio. Okay. Her voice diminishes until her words are reduced to lip flaps, like a mad scientist trying to figure out a complex equation. She retreats into her own little world.
Mariah?
Hydrate. I shall do so. Thank you. A smidge of sympathy buds inside me. I look to Joseph and Tess. Even they look a little shocked.
Is she gonna be okay?
I honestly don't know.
Tess approaches Mariah, who is still whispering nonsense under her breath. Nonchalantly, Tess hops in front of her, her hand reaching upwards, trying to wave it in front of Mariah and bring her back to our world. No response. Tess pulls Mariah's arm skyward, then allows them to flop down to her side. Still no response.
You know, we've been looking into that treasure since we were kids.
Joseph steps up to the counter and stares into the box.
Never expected someone else to find it before us.
That's more than I can say. I didn't even think it existed.
There's that too.
Fair enough. He sighs, then with a shrug cracks a smile.
Well, good job anyway. You ladies seem cool, so if it couldn't be us, then at least it was you.
Rad, thank you.
You guys want to stick around? We could tell you more about it.
He looks at Mariah.
Somehow, I don't think that would be healthy for her. Or you.
He grabs Mariah by the shoulders and begins pushing her towards the exit.
Come on, Mariah. Let's go make you a nice cold michelada.
Yay! I shall stretch most forthwith. And hydrate. Arr. Oh god, that popped in my chest. I've gotten so distracted via it, and I haven't eaten. Oh, go make food? Oh, good lord! Good Godfrey, man! Ooh, a michelada. Those are delicious.
You two can keep the equipment. Think of it as an apology gift.
Thank you, Joseph. Because cheaply made tools I could get at any hardware store of equal value to a car. What's that car, probably? They're almost out of the motorhome when Mariah flips and rushes back.
Hold on a minute, thief!
Thief? She looks me straight in the eyes, her expression returning to that of a piercing hawk.
You just had beginner's luck. You might have found the first piece, but I promise you, me and my team will find the rest.
Doubtful. She extends a hand and smirks. I pause for a moment, then grab it and offer a smirk of my own.
You're on.
Oh, you just challenged me. Someone I dislike on a cellular level has just challenged me. And with that, hydrate with snacks if necessary and meds, smoke check, etc. for QEs. Damn right. Think what we're gonna do, because we've been challenged, we're gonna save there. Marina and Joseph both let out a sigh of relief as if they've just witnessed the signing of a peace treaty.
Well, guess that takes care of that.
Now let's get out of here and go back to a proper base.
Are you going to drink until you feel better again, sis?
That's what I do.
Shut up! Didn't Mom ever teach you any manners?
No.
You always said Mom is an airheaded ditz who wouldn't know good advice or a good man if it bit her on the butt.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Sorry for all the trouble, ladies. See you two down the road.
Later. Joseph pulls the door closed. Marina and I stay put as the bickering of the trio fades into the distance.
Were you serious?
A little bit. Now I've been challenged by someone I dislike, so I have to. I'm spiteful
About
like
what?
that.
The treasure. You told Mariah that you were gonna find the rest.
Yeah, I am. Because I dislike her on a cellular level. And because it'll make you smile.
If you were just being nice and want to leave now, that's fine too. You've already done a lot for me.
Yeah? She casts her eyes downward to hide her emotions, but I know better by now.
And let you keep all the treasure for yourself? Hell no.
Her eyes bounce back.
Besides, someone's got to keep you from getting yourself into trouble. May as well be me.
For real? But don't you have the festival to go to?
Yeah.
It's still a little while away. I wanted to do some sightseeing anyway.
Marina lurches forward. Before I can sidestep, she tackles me with the force of a gold-filled freight train. I don't even try to resist. It's futile in the grace of Marina's hugs.
Thank you, 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 thank you!
Actually, I probably owe you an apology.
She cocks her head and looks up at me. I look away, my bashful side taking over.
Well, you know, I kept saying it wasn't real and stuff.
Hey, don't worry about it. Most people wouldn't have given me the time of day.
Yeah, but...
Relax. Just figure out where we have to go next.
Sounds like a plan. I smile. We walk to the front of the RV and take our seats, grabbing the journal from the glove compartment. I flip it open. And what happens next, is going to have to wait for next Visual Novel Friday, where we will be continuing this game. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. For those of you who are YouTube viewers, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Remember that you are all worthy of love, you are worthy of good things, and that your Uncle Gnome loves ya. See you out on the trail. Come and join us on the Twitch stream if you get an opportunity.